a phoenix, born from the ashes. I take care of my own. Torn down where I sit. You can't suffocate my spirit, 'cause I'm the king of my own throne, my own throne. King of my own throne, my own throne. You'll never see me fall, fall. You'll never see me fall. Watch me reign, and I'll slay them all. Slay them all, slay them all, slay them all. You'll never see the reign, and I'll slay them all. Slay them all, slay them all, slay them all. You'll never see the throne. King of my own throne, my own throne. King of my own throne. Born from the ashes, 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 born from the. You can't suffocate my spirit, 'cause I'm the king of my own throne, throne, oh, oh, oh. King of my own throne, my own throne. You'll never see me fall, fall. You'll never see me fall. Watch me reign, and I'll slay them all. Slay them all, slay them all, slay them all. You'll never see the reign, and I'll slay them all. Slay them all, slay them all, slay them all. You'll never see the throne. King of my own throne, my own throne. King of my own Watch me reign.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet, planet Earth, and parts some might call unknown. Oh, it is time for Season 8. Episode 5 of the House Divided podcast. We are here. We are live. The intro video just ended. Didn't know that was a thing.
No, it ends. I mean, the video is only 5 minutes long.
Yeah, I knew it.
We just never.
Yeah, we never go that far.
We just never have a 5-minute intro for the podcast.
Hello, good Wednesday evening.
It's Thursday.
Ass.
You're gonna really like the quote of the day, by the way, when you go back to work tomorrow.
Normalized work moonshine?
No, it's not that anymore. It's simple quote of the day, but very effective.
Good Thursday evening. We're here. We are live. And we got a show. I need to pull notes up.
We've got a show, but he doesn't know what it is because he doesn't have the notes up, and neither do I. You know why that is?
You never have notes anymore.
Well, that is the case. But I bought something that is going to help that, and the laptop saga continues. It is still not here.
Oh,
Tomorrow. No doubt in my mind. Tomorrow.
that beer's bad. It's bad beer. Ew.
But well, I was gonna ask, did you buy the I think it's called Detroit Fan Zone that I had on stream where I was just like, ooh, it's been a long time since I dumped out a beer, but this is not good.
No, this is one of those mini free beers I got from volleyball. It's a
so it came from the Budweiser distributor, so
I mean, they got good
good
stuff.
They do have good stuff, but they also sell Budweiser, so
This is an IPA from Perrin, and it is not.
I don't remember the last time I had anything from Perrin. It's been a really, really long time.
This one's not it.
That's rare because as much as I don't really drink them, they're usually good.
Yeah, I know. We have a show. We have majority of the show is gonna be news. Actually,
Let's hope so. Yeah.
Majority of this.
If we get out of here early enough, I mean, maybe I can do something else tonight too. But who knows?
Majority of the show is gonna be news. Let's get into stupid people saying bad take of the week, but digress.
Yes.
It is still stupid. A stupid person saying something stupid.
It is.
Jordan, you want to lead us off with your dumb?
Maybe, but I have to pull it up, and apparently I didn't take a screenshot of it.
Okay,
So,
well, I mean, I have mine ready if you're...
Okay, yeah, you go right ahead.
Okay. My bad take of the week comes from Emmanuel Acho. Former NFL player, now sports media dude. I don't even know where he is anymore. He's one of those that's bounced around. Normally, I don't hate what Emmanuel Acho says. But this one, and we'll talk about the game that's involved, is just bad. Emmanuel Acho on Sunday night at 11:25 tweeted this. Every game this season, the Chiefs have made the big play or avoided the critical error. Week 1, Isaiah Likely, inches short. Week 2, DPI, Bengals. Week 3, 4th and inches. The Chiefs aren't lucky. They're just coached better and execute better. Hashtag Chiefs Kingdom.
Yeah, they're so not lucky. That also, the Chiefs Kingdom hashtag at the end just screams like Horace. Like
Yeah.
Horace was a Chiefs fan, Speaking of, we haven't heard from Horace yet this year. It's only a matter of time, but
I see his tweets.
I know I still follow Horace. He's a great Twitter follow if you haven't done that yet.
He just hasn't had a completely unhinged one yet.
No, not yet. As the football season goes along, and if Alabama loses, then it gets bad. But
Yeah.
No, saying the Chiefs don't get help is a very strange thing to say.
Especially when there is a missed DPI call.
Well, and I mean, why? Like, they get help in so many different ways. Not only from the officials. I mean, that's a given. That happens all the time. But I mean, shit. Now, Derwin James is suspended for this game. Upcoming Chiefs and Chargers.
We'll talk about that in the news, but yeah.
They catch every possible break they can, and it drives me nuts.
They're the luckiest team of all time.
Yeah, I hated that term when Rob Parker said it. When he said Tom Brady wasn't the GOAT, he was the LOAT. He was the luckiest of all time. But with the Chiefs, it really is true.
Yeah. Like,
But don't worry. When they make like their billionth straight Super Bowl in February, don't worry, because we're gonna get the same thing we did last year. Oh, we were the underdogs, man.
yeah.
We went through so much adversity to get to where we are.
Every year.
Self-imposed.
Yeah, they make themselves. Chiefs fans are the most intolerable people because
Well,
they
and
make that team an underdog when they're never an underdog.
No, the team. I remember the team saying that last year.
Oh,
They were the
yeah.
ones that were like, "Yeah, no, we're underdogs." Like, no, your only really bad moments of the season were all things that you did. Most of them involved Kadarius Toney. Either dropping a billion passes against the Lions or lining up offsides and then Patrick Mahomes complaining about it.
And I have
That team
one.
is so unlikable.
They are, and we'll talk about this one now because you brought up that Kadarius Toney play. I was going to save this for the NFL recap when we talked about Chiefs-Falcons, but I'm just going to bring it up now since you did. Somebody, Michael LaFave, NFL writer, tweeted this on Sunday night, not long after Emmanuel Acho tweeted his bullshit that I just read to you.
I do believe Emmanuel Acho is still on Fox, by the way, but I could be wrong.
I think you're right. Michael LaFave tweeted this. The worst
Couldn't
part.
tell you the last time I watched FS1, so I have no idea.
Right. The worst part about the Chiefs is that despite being beneficiary to many calls, the one time that they actually broke rules and were flagged, and it was the Kadarius Toney play, Chiefs fans cried about it for 3 or 4 days, claiming that they should have let the play allowed to happen because it was cool. Which is accurate. When in that Bills Chiefs game, Kadarius Toney lined up offside, there was 2 or 3 days of Chiefs fans just throwing a tantrum. That was the best play in the history of the NFL. There'll never be another better one, and you flagged it because of an offside, and it didn't count. It's like,
I remember that. That was an insufferable week from Kansas City fans
Like-
and players.
it's like, yeah, Kadarius Toney lined 3 yards offside. It shouldn't have counted.
Like, imagine having things go your way so much that you think that you can line up offsides,
Do something
and
just,
it's
blatantly
just
illegal.
gonna be fine. Yeah, no, it's you actually committed the crime, if you will, that got the flag thrown.
Yeah.
That wasn't a judgment call.
No.
The entire world could see you were offsides.
And Chiefs fans, it was the best play that'll ever happen in the NFL. Travis Kelce threw the ball.
Hell, Mahomes said that.
Yeah. It's like,
Mahomes was like, you took away one of the great plays in NFL history. No, you did that.
you guys have an absolute idiot on your team who did it, not the NFL.
No.
Like, they're so insufferable.
And as a Lions fan who has seen the NFL bone my team time and time again in all of the years that we were really, really bad. And I mean, pretty much any other NFL fan base can relate to this because everyone has at least one where you
Bengals
just
have had
get,
a couple.
but
Bengals have had one this year.
Lions like more so, and I mean, like, to think that is what these fans and these players are complaining about. Man, they really would have hated to play in Detroit in pretty much any time up until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And hell, we still get boned by the officials. Dan Skipper would like a word.
Yeah. So that's my bad take of the week. Emmanuel Acho, you, sir, are a
Loser.
He hit the loser button, and I'm not hitting the loser button right now.
fair enough.
Anyway.
I was like, because I have a real
My-
Stream Deck. You don't need to.
Well, so I got Stream Deck Mobile, but I've got my stupid person of the week up here, so
Yeah, that's fair.
I can't hit the button. My bad take of the week comes from the world of Twitter.
Oh, no. Yep. That's fair.
Yep. Well, I already told you about this earlier.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Are there worse takes out there? Yes, probably. Because, and we're gonna get into the reason why here in a second. The tweet comes from a reply to Jeff Passan on a tweet that says Tarek Skubal is an absolute unit. 7 shutout innings against
Yes.
Tampa Bay, only 2 hits allowed, lowers his ERA to 2.39. He should win the American League Cy Young unanimously. Will he? No, of
No.
course not. And the Tigers lead the Rays 2-0 and are 2 innings away from extending their wild card advantage. Now,
Yep.
as we've been over so many times on this channel, neither one of us are a big fan of Barstool, so I kind of forgot this guy existed, and that is Ohio State. Barstool Tate.
I wish I could
Twitter.
forget this dude existed.
I mean, he doesn't show up on my feed very often. And the only reason that this showed up on my feed is because I think the Detroit Line posted something about him getting absolutely blasted for this.
As he should have, honestly.
Ohio State says 2.39 ERA is pretty good, Jeff. Only 3.8 times higher than Emmanuel Clase. And that's where we get to the point where I'm sure there are worse takes out there. And we talked about this at work earlier. If there was ever a year that a reliever could possibly win Cy Young, it is this year with Emmanuel Clase. He's been outstanding.
He's been dominant.
But by no means should have any competition for reliever of the year. I feel like that is 100% an absolute lot.
Yes.
But you have Tarek Skubal, who is going to win a pitching triple crown.
Most likely, unless something absolutely catastrophic happens, or
He might not even. If the Tigers take care of business the next couple days, he's not even going to start on the final day of the regular season.
yeah.
To be honest, I would rather not start him at all. But
It's extremely likely.
yeah.
Yes, he will.
So you can't give that. And I mean, it means more to some people than it does to others. But I think the Cy Young should 99% of the time go to a starter because of they throw more innings. Of course, like if Clase threw, it was a starter, he's not going to put up these same numbers. He might be in the very similar realm as what Skubal's doing, but you can't keep a sub-1 ERA as a starter. It's just damn near impossible. Like, the right idea. Kind of. Not really. You just can't argue, I don't think, that Tarek Skubal does not deserve to win the Cy Young. And even you as a Guardians fan could probably say that. Now,
like I said, we were talking about it at work earlier, if Skubal wasn't most likely 99.98% likely to win at least to end the season with the American League pitching triple crown, then a very, very big argument should be made, because Clase has been a world above most starting pitchers.
Yeah. And I agree with that. And so there's the argument of, well, he at least deserves some votes, and he should get them. Second place votes for the most part. That's just what it should be.
He's going to get first place votes because the Baseball Writers Association is not good.
We need to make MVP a fan vote or something, I swear to God. Although that's how you wind up with players like, oh, I don't know, Jake Berger is MVP.
I would say
that probably happened.
Doing fan votes not a good idea, because that's how you get really dumb.
Remember the face of the MLB being Eric Sogard?
Yeah.
Or that All-Star game where the entire American League lineup was Kansas City Royals? That's what would happen. But at the same time, that's much worse than what we have going on now.
Yeah, with the Baseball Writers Association, just absolute hatred of giving anything unanimous to players that deserve it.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, like, here's some guys who I think will get first place votes that shouldn't, because the Baseball Writers Association. I had it up for a second, but it's gone.
And now, while you're doing that,
I have it right here, but go ahead.
Okay. So if the MVP truly worked out like the MVP should, in terms of being the most valuable to your team, Tarek Skubal should be in that conversation. Now, that's not going to happen.
No.
But, I mean, that's just the way that it goes. The Cy Young, 99% of the time, goes to starters. pitchers ain't gonna win MVP. It's just kind of the
Yeah.
way that it goes. But in terms of pure value to a team, there just isn't a player I don't know that's more valuable because look at this Tigers team. I don't even know how they're doing what they're doing right now. But all season long, from opening day to now, you knew every fifth day that there is a good chance that at least when Tarek Skubal leaves the game, you ain't gonna be losing.
Yeah. Here's some guys that'll probably get votes, first place votes for the American League Cy Young that are not named Tarek Skubal or Emmanuel Clase. The only two people who should get first place votes.
Yeah.
Seth Lugo.
No. Good year.
Had a good year.
No.
Jose Barrios of the Blue Jays. Solid year.
Nope.
But the Blue Jays are well out of contention.
It's like giving Jabril Peppers a Heisman vote.
Yeah.
A first place Heisman vote.
Yeah. So, like, there's going to be something dumb, and whoever doesn't whoever gives anyone other than Skubal or Clase first place Cy Young votes, they need to lose their vote.
They won't, but
they won't, because people that didn't give Ken Griffey Jr. unanimous Hall of Fame didn't lose their vote.
Well, yeah, and then the same thing we talked about this earlier. Mariano Rivera not being unanimous, the greatest at his
position.
We can't even really say position. I guess maybe you can, but greatest at his role that the game had ever seen by a long shot.
Oh God, yeah.
And we're not gonna make him unanimous because of one fuckhead.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even say fuckhead. I should say old head because that's the good majority of the baseball writers.
No, I think fuckhead's right. That just is so resilient, just not resilient, refusant on thinking that things should be unanimous. Anyhow,
I'm gonna call those types of baseball writer voters a butthead. We'll get to buttheads later.
Yes, we will. They need the ass hat.
Oh, we'll get there.
Let's move on to the news.
Oh God,
this is a lot of news. This is our biggest news week yet. Most of it's not really bad, thankfully.
I mean, not bad is good.
Yeah. Starting out, C.J. Abrams of the Washington Nationals, their leadoff hitter, has been
this is bad.
Pretty decent. He was an all-star. Was optioned
finally living up to that potential. Didn't do it with the Padres. Shipped him away in the Juan Soto trade, I believe. And
I believe so. Yeah.
Was finally getting somewhere.
Option to the minors after the 23-year-old was seen in a Chicago casino throughout the night until 8 a.m. when he left. Only 5 hours before first pitch of their 1 p.m. game against the Chicago Cubs. Abrams went 0-3 in that game.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. But this is just like... What are we doing?
Now, is this probably more common than you may think? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
There are probably still a good chunk of players that play, especially 1 o'clock starts, probably either hungover or drunk from the night before.
Probably. Especially young players.
Yeah, just any sort. Not every one of them get caught doing it, though.
No, yeah, that's the crazy thing, is that he chose to go to a casino.
Yeah, for real. If you want to get hammered the day before a game, I don't know if you really should do that in public.
Yeah.
That's really not the best plan of attack.
Just absolutely unreal, asinine, and...
I hope he won some money because... now let's be honest. He will be back in the majors.
Yeah, with the Nationals, Nationals manager Dude McDude Face. I already forgot his name after reading the article. Said that they want to help him out. They want to get him going the right way, and so he'll be back. This is just a team that is not very good, punishing a good player for doing something absolutely dumb and getting caught for being dumb.
It's only the second craziest story about a now minor leaguer in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Which is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on. This one is the... we have a lot of weird news. This one's pretty weird. At last count, 12 Tufts University lacrosse players in Boston, Maryland, were hospitalized and diagnosed with rhabdomyolysis, a very rare muscle injury that causes the muscles, or that occurs when muscles break down to a point where they're releasing toxins into your bloodstream. Extremely rare.
Apparently not.
Yeah, apparently not. It can be caused by a variation of things, like extreme excessive exercise, which is most likely the cause here. After a voluntary team workout led / supervised by a Tufts University graduate had completed BUDS training. For those of you who don't know what BUDS is, that is Navy SEAL training. I would assume. I
wonder what the cause of this could be.
Yeah, it definitely the workout.
Have we learned nothing from the guy from Maryland when something similar that practice that essentially killed a player
Yeah.
happened? That there you can prepare hard, you can work out, you can practice hard. At the end of the day, and especially for college lacrosse, I believe.
Yep, college lacrosse.
Like
D2 college lacrosse.
What are we doing?
Yeah, you're taking this to a different level. I would assume that the individual leading and supervising this workout, obviously he made it through BUDS. It's the hardest training in the military to get through. Both mentally and physically. So he's probably a strong, tough dude. But definitely not qualified to lead team workouts. And this is what happens.
You know what they say. I mean, he's just built a little different, it's all.
Yeah.
And he just expects that college athletes are built the same way. In D2 lacrosse.
Yeah. This was just a weird one. Like, wow. Moving on. The 2025 NFL Hall of Fame candidates were announced. I'm going to read them off a picture because I didn't list them all off. Here. Your 2025 Hall of Fame candidates are as follows. Luke Kuechly, Eli Manning, Earl Thomas, Marshawn Lynch, kicker Adam Vinatieri, Clay Matthews, Terrell Suggs, Joe Staley, Vernon Davis, Aqib Talib, Ryan Khalil, Marshall Yanda. I have no idea how I butchered that up.
Marshall Yanda.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about Marshall Yanda in a long time.
I haven't either. Travis Frederick, Demarius Thomas, Delaney Walker, and Antoine Bethea.
Around about the time we got to Vernon Davis is where I think that cutoff is going to be in terms of people that will make it one day or not. I don't think Vernon Davis is a Hall of Famer. You could maybe possibly argue Aqib Talib, but it certainly won't be this year.
He won't be a first ballot.
Everyone above that, I say, at least eventually makes it.
I think...
And especially like guys like Vinatieri.
Yeah.
Like Adam Vinatieri is a no-doubter. Head back to the top of the list. Read me a couple of those again.
Luke Kuechly, Eli Manning.
That one,
go ahead.
Let's stop it. Let's stop at Kuechly because that one's interesting. Now he is going to make it because he was an absolute freak. But
yes, he was.
He does have the slight downside of maybe possibly not making it year one because of his short career.
Yeah, he
now,
probably.
He still could because I mean, and now granted, I don't believe he played as long as Calvin Johnson, and even Calvin Johnson had a short career. But
Yeah,
he'll make it, no doubt. I mean, when he was healthy, and I can't even say in his prime because he never really left his prime.
yeah,
He was just one of the best football players on the field, no matter who he was playing against.
yeah.
So after Kuechly,
And like I said, I think Kuechly should be the first ballot Hall of Famer. He probably won't be. Eli Manning,
I say yeah, first ballot.
most likely. Earl Thomas.
You the two
Go ahead, yeah.
Super Bowls, the two Super Bowls against the greatest quarterback of all time, when nobody else really could beat him up until Nick fucking Foles. There's just no doubt. Tail end of Eli's career,
Not good.
not that great, but he's no doubt for me.
He should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Earl Thomas, I can speak on this one as somebody who played defense. Earl Thomas played the game right. He should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Probably won't be, but definitely should. That Seahawks defense was lethal for those Earl Thomas Legion of Boom years.
Oh yeah. Now Earl Thomas kind of went under the radar on those defenses a little bit just because he wasn't as vocal as Sherman, but
Yeah, he wasn't Sherman or
the best player on those defenses was probably Earl Thomas. I mean,
Yeah.
he was just
I say yeah, he wasn't Richard Sherman or Cam Chancellor and just how loud he was, but he was probably the best player on those defenses. He anchored that.
That's the best defense I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Marshawn Lynch, another Seattle Seahawk. I don't think he's gonna be first ballot. He'll get in.
I don't think he's first ballot either, but I mean, he's beast mode, man.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer for sure eventually, but not year one.
Yeah. Adam Vinatieri, best kicker of all time. He's what the fuck.
First ballot, no doubt.
Way McAfee. Yeah, first ballot. Clay Matthews should be first ballot. Once again,
he was just a game wrecker for so long for the Packers.
As somebody who played linebacker, he was a freak at line, just like Kuechly was an absolute freak, game wrecker. Same thing with Terrell Suggs. Suggs should probably be first ballot. Another just absolute freak game wrecker on the defensive side.
Terrell Suggs is one of my favorite non-Lions players of all time. I love Terrell Suggs.
He's just so good. Please hold. Did I just get a random bunch of frame dropping? We're good. That was weird.
Yeah, your internet must have been bad for a second. You were lagging a bit.
That was weird. Joe Staley, phenomenal offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Probably should be first ballot. I don't know if he will be.
I'm gonna say no, but not by much.
I agree. That's fair. Vernon Davis, Aqib Talib they'll probably make it at some point. The rest of the guys after Talib, when you get to Ryan Coolio, Marshall Yonda, Travis Frederick, Demarius Thomas, Delaney Walker, and Antoine Bethea. I'm going to steal a Deion Sanders quote. It's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Very Good.
Yeah.
And like all five of those guys after Talib, and even Talib and Vernon Davis are phenomenal, great players. But
Vernon Davis was a little up and down, though.
Yeah. So there is your Hall of Fame candidates for the 2025 season, or 2025 year.
Yep. And then we didn't even, and we're not gonna, but we didn't even talk about, I mean, the guys that are still on the ballot from previous years that are also going to get consideration. And I'm sure there's I don't know exactly the limits in terms of how many players can get in and all that.
Yeah, I can't remember.
NFL. But decisions have to be made.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to see how things fall apart. This will be one of the more compelling classes, I think. Moving on. We alluded to it a little bit in the bad take of the week. Charger safety Derwin James is suspended for the Week 4 matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs after the NFL suspends him for repeated violation of NFL safety rules. The suspension this time is over. Well, the play that caused the suspension is over the hit he delivered to Pittsburgh tight end Pat Fireman's head. Really, the only way to describe it is it would have been called targeting in college.
Yeah, can't have it in today's game. However, we also can't have Chiefs players getting hurt out there. So
yeah,
it doesn't fit the script. So Derwin James is obviously got to be out.
Gotta sit.
Yep. Nope. Mm-mm. Can you imagine if he delivered a hit like that to Travis Kelce? Oh no.
Oh yeah, Travis Kelce.
The viewers lost that if Travis Kelce isn't playing, it's just too much. So we gotta protect the Chiefs, man.
Couldn't say it better myself.
I'm only half kidding.
I know. I wouldn't have been.
I mean,
I fully would have been because.
Is that truly the reason? No, of course not. Of course it happens right before a game against Kansas.
The timing is just so absurd.
Divisional rival, just come on, man.
The best team KC's the best team in that division with KC, at least I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Utah State, moving on. Utah State is set to join the Pac-12, getting the Pac-12 to 7 teams and leaving the Mountain West at 7 teams.
I mean,
I was expecting you to say something. I don't have much to say on it.
It's tough to like talk bad about the Pac-12 poaching all these teams to just try and get a conference when everybody just left.
Yeah,
I mean, they had a 14-team conference a year ago, and they're down to 2 this year, and they're just trying to save it. And and they should. I mean, the Pac-12 is a historic conference that deserves to be around a little while longer at least. It sucks for the Mountain West. This whole realignment shit is just, it's not very fun. And I mean, there's lawsuits between conferences now, and nobody watches college football for this shit. Nobody cares.
Agreed.
And it just sucks. I say the next time we have a massive realignment, we just go back to the historic alignment of certain conferences. So the Big Ten's actually going to have 10 teams again. Big 12 can have 12. We got to bring the Big East back. Either that or just put them all in the American, kick all the teams that were in the American out somewhere else. And then anyone that joined FBS, they can join a new conference. So the App States and the UMasses of the world can have their own newbie conference together. How about that?
That'd be a thing.
I think it's a better idea than what we're doing now, and I arguably think that my idea is terrible. So
I would say, I'm not gonna say your idea is terrible. It ain't good, but
it's not a good idea whatsoever. But
some of what we have going on right now has not been great either.
18-team mega conferences. We got teams that moved to the ACC last year that now want to go back to the Pac-12 because they think the Pac-12 is going to be easier now because they're playing Mountain West schools. It's just a disaster.
Yeah. And really, it's like the Pac-12's been the disaster point. And yes, UCLA or USC, UCLA are the big two that started this because they were the first two confirmed to leave, and then Washington and Oregon were like, oh shit.
Yeah, this is happening. And then all the ACC teams that couldn't get into the Big Ten are just like, well, we gotta go somewhere.
Leaving Oregon State and Washington State. But some of this, like,
which arguably though they didn't. Some of those ACC schools, I didn't think about this when we were talking about realignment a couple weeks ago, and I said I wouldn't blame them for going back, and I wouldn't blame the Pac-12 for taking them back when it came to Stanford and Cal. But even after the losses of the teams that left for the Big Ten,
yeah,
you
the
still
four.
had 8. You still had 8.
Yeah.
You were still a real conference.
And then they
So-
lost Utah, Colorado to Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Arizona State to the Big 12.
Yep.
And then it was a real oh shit.
It was just every team outside of the 2 that stayed were just reactionary, and they just
yeah.
everyone moved around and nobody won.
Like, some of it I will blame on the conference itself. They've been ran so poorly the past handful of years that led up to this. But yeah, nobody won because, I mean, UCLA sucks ass. USC is ass.
Well, UCLA was going to be ass regardless of whatever conference they were in. USC got a warm welcome to the Big Ten by a pretty bad Michigan team. So,
And which we'll talk about that.
I hope they're happy with the decision they made.
Yeah, which we'll talk about that shortly. But yeah, like you said, everyone moved around. Very, very reactionary off of what 2 teams that haven't really been nationally relevant in the sport
No.
in decades.
I mean, you can say that I guess USC has been nationally relevant only due to the fact that they were decently top 25 and projected to at least make the playoff
yeah,
up until this last weekend. If that's the bottom
National.
of the barrel when it comes to national relevancy.
yeah,
But
yeah. Moving on.
We'll get to that game in a minute.
Yeah. Moving on. The Pac-12, we're saying there, kind of, is set to sue the Mountain West over the supposedly very vague no poaching clause in the scheduling contract that I call it a conference, but the Pac-12 isn't really a conference right now. The Pac-12
Official one.
Pac-12 has with the Mountain West. The lawsuit states that the clause violates any and all not any and all, violates both anti-monopoly and antitrust laws. Especially
Who said that?
The lawsuit that the Pac-12 is pulling on the Mountain West.
Anti-monopoly, yet you are actively trying to poach teams
Yeah,
from a conference and basically kill them off to save your ass.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It is important to note in this, and this is probably where the Pac-12 has a leg to stand on. After 2025, the Mountain West TV deals, because apparently they have TV deals.
Well, I mean, they do. How else does Mountain West After Dark happen?
That is true. After the 2025 season, which almost fits perfectly for the Pac-12, considering the teams coming over from the 5 teams coming over from the Mountain West are all coming in 2026. The TV deals for the Mountain West are set to end in 2025 after 2025 season, and the conference has made no attempts to renegotiate them, for lack of a better term. This is just gonna be a debacle, isn't it?
Yay, conference realignment.
Again. Just gonna be a debacle. We're gonna get to the very short news before we get to the 2 big debacles. Derrick Rose is set to retire from the NBA after 16 seasons.
Detroit Pistons legend Derrick Rose.
I like D Rose, man. As a Cavs fan,
A lot too. He is just one of those players that should have been so much better than he was, and it's not really any fault of his own. Just injuries killed him, man.
Yep. He was
But to even still be a very, very solid NBA player, very solid role player there towards the end.
yeah.
I mean, credit to D Rose for sticking it out because the expectations of Derrick Rose, even out of college, were that he was gonna take the NBA by storm, and he did for a very brief time before injuries kind of derailed all that. But
He was very good for a short while. He was really fun to watch. He was really easy to like.
yeah, not really any reason to dislike Derrick Rose, which is hard to say about a lot of NBA players. But
Especially because, like I said, I'm a Cavs fan, and he played for the Bulls for a long while. He played for the Pistons for a short spell. Yeah, credit to him for sticking it out, playing for as long as he did after the pretty big fall off from injuries.
I mean, you can't injure both knees and then expect to be able to still do what you were once able to do. And then I feel like he injured some of those knees twice. So
Yeah.
it's just,
He was pretty unlucky when it came to injuries.
yeah.
Okay, now we got some big debacle. Hi, dog. UNLV quarterback. Get ready to say the word who. I'm sure up until yesterday, nobody'd heard of this dude.
No, I can't say I watch a lot of UNLV football.
I don't either. UNLV quarterback Matthew Sluka. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I don't care.
Sounds like a hard name to mispronounce.
Yeah.
We probably are.
Yeah, it's either Sluka or Sluka. I have no idea. Don't care. Decides to redshirt and sit out the rest of the season after supposed name, image, likeness disagreements. This is where the story gets weird, though, and fun. UNLV started the season 3-0. Reportedly, the agent hired by Sluka and his family advised Sluka that his market value had increased after the team had wins against Kansas and Houston.
I mean, I guess maybe a little.
UNLV supposedly told him that he was going to get, in terms of name, image, likeness collective money, $100,000. His agent said, well, you should be getting more than that because you beat Kansas and you beat Houston. Should go up. But here's where it gets really fun. And side note, for anyone who doesn't know who Matthew Sluka is, he transferred from Holy Cross.
The usual happenings. This happens every week.
Yep. Matthew Sluka is ranked 140th in terms of college quarterbacks. How many?
Not very good.
How many Division I teams are there in FBS?
Less than 140.
134. Meaning, there have been backups that have played better than Sluka. He's also ranked 140th out of all 300 players to throw a pass this year, meaning there are wide receivers who are around about as bad as he is.
Oh my.
He's bad. This dude should have been happy he was getting any money.
Potentially. I mean, you're 3-0 at UNLV. Yeah, you beat some teams that nobody really would have expected you to beat, but okay, cool.
Yeah, and
if that is the case, and not just because the way it came out was UNLV was not fulfilling what they said that they were going to do.
Yes, that's what it had started as. And then the story last night, it was actually while you were streaming and I was just getting a few things prepped. Some reports came out that the agent that his family hired had advised that his market value increased and he needed to get paid more.
No.
This is going to be fun. It's going to be a debacle.
Oh, yeah.
And
that might be this year's story that doesn't go away.
Very positive. This could be the Bishop Sycamore or the John Gruden or Mel Tucker year story.
Yep.
And finally, for the news, USC defensive lineman Bear Alexander decided to intend to redshirt and I would assume transfer. The transfer part has yet to be confirmed after disagreements. Not about name, image, and likeness money. Disagreements with Lincoln Riley and defensive coordinator D'Anton Lynn. Primarily about playing time. This side note before we get to the rest of this probably shouldn't come as a huge deal from Bear Alexander. I mean, the dude's good. Let's be honest. He is very good. He's the best defensive player on that team. But he played for 4 different high schools. He played for a different high school each year in high school. He committed to Georgia, decommitted from Georgia, committed to Georgia, decommitted again, and then finally committed to Georgia, played 1 year at Georgia, won a national championship, and then transferred to USC. So this shouldn't come as a huge shock. At all. But last season Alexander was the starter for all but one game. That only game he did not start was their bowl game, the fucking Pop-Tarts Bowl or whatever it was. It wasn't the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Premier bowl game.
I don't think it was the Pop-Tarts Bowl, but it was another 7-5 team bowl game. And he played the most snaps out of any USC defender. This year he has not made a single start, and he's averaging about 20 snaps a game. Like I said, the dude's the team's best defensive player. Definitely the best defensive lineman. And D'Anton Lynn is just either doesn't like him or is holding a grudge because he missed spring training camp and a part of fall training camp because of an injury he had at the end of last year. And D'Anton Lynn just says, "Oh no, we don't need you. You weren't able to play in the spring." Important to note, and I think this is what kind of caused it. Bear Alexander did not see the field for Michigan's game-winning drive, in which Michigan only threw the ball twice.
Yeah.
While going, I believe it was. I have 89 yards down the field on the notes.
That sounds about right.
79 of those 89 yards were rushing yards because they did have a 10-yard pass, the longest pass of the day.
10-yard pass, but at the end of the day, it is still Michigan.
Yeah.
So we're running the ball.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't be running the ball, but we're running the ball. Damn it.
We'll talk about that in a few moments. A lot of people looked at these two things with Matthew Sluka and then Bear Alexander, and the world's ending. The game is dying. What just fell off my desk? World's ending. The game's dying. This is bad. And one dude nobody had heard of until yesterday, and Matthew Sluka. And as I said, this should be expected with Bear Alexander.
Yeah. As
Nick Saban has said, some of these guys are in the transfer portal for a reason.
I guess.
Let's move on to the Week 4 college football recap. We got some woos.
How about a speed run of the recap here?
Yeah. Texas beat you there. Louisiana Monroe. There we go. 51-3. Woo. Ohio State.
I mean, hey, that was the Arch Manning General Booty duel there. So
Arch Manning threw an interception on the I think his first pass of the game.
We saw the best and worst of the potential of Arch Manning. Yep. That is for sure. He's gonna be fine.
Yep. Number 3 Ohio State beat Marshall 49-14. Marshall came out and scored on their first drive. That's it. Really, the only thing I have 2 things to note on this game. Officials are awful, yes, but we need to stop crying rigged when a team lines up offside and gets a penalty. Marshall.
Wait, that happened in this game?
Marshall punted the ball in a game.
Okay.
It actually wasn't an offside lineup. It was a too many men in the backfield lineup. Illegal formation on the punt.
Illegal formation.
Yeah, illegal formation on the punt.
Illegal formation on the punt. How do you let that happen?
They only had 2 guys on the line of scrimmage. They had
Where was everyone else?
Off, like 3 yards off. So they just didn't line up right. They had the long snapper and one of the gunners was lined up right. It's
I love that.
Marshall, and it's very unfortunate because it happened on what ended up being a muff punt for Ohio State, and then Marshall had to re-kick it because fucking 9 of the 11 guys lined up improperly.
It's not often you get like we get false start, everyone but the center, but illegal formation, everybody but the long snapper.
Like,
that's happened like twice now. I would say I can only ever remember the worst football play of all time, the Colts fake punt.
Yep. That
was an illegal formation. The entire line was not on the line of scrimmage, or the entire right side of the line, which was about 8-9 guys.
This was very similar, except it was everybody except the long snapper. Yeah, it just like and Twitter was
and a gunner. Let's give the gunner credit.
Yeah, and a gunner. And like Twitter was, oh my god, this game's rigged. Ohio State's getting all the calls.
They're not gonna win anyway. It's Marshall.
Marshall was getting dominated, and yes, okay, this had the penalty not happened and Marshall kept the recovery on the muff punt, they would have scored to make it. It would have been 21-49. That's it. Like, there was a couple calls there was a couple penalties on Marshall that were just them. You line up offside on a kick. You kick the ball out of bounds. You have an offensive lineman running down the field blocking without his helmet on.
I cannot believe that we have to, well, not me, you have to bring up the officiating in Ohio State Marshall. I can't believe it.
The officiating was so bad that at one point, in the fourth quarter when the game was well done, a flag was thrown. Gus and Joel didn't even say anything about it. It went from second. Ohio State had the ball, and I think it was on like a face mask or some shit. Ohio State had the ball. It would have been 2nd and 10, but all of a sudden it's a first down. And all you hear Gus say, "Well, this bozo's on the field again." That's how bad the officiating as a whole was. But
oh my.
Can we stop screaming rigged when it's fucking very obvious? Like, how is throwing a flag on a kickoff out of bounds rigged? It's always been a penalty.
Yep.
And the other thing, I like Devin Brown, but the Devin Brown experiment of him as the backup probably needs to end. Whether it be because of injury and lack of time in camp, or Julian Saint's just that much better. Julian,
I was gonna say, well, you got a million quarterbacks, so what does it matter?
Yeah, Julian Saint's just good. Start giving that man more time. Moving on.
Is there a potential? Can Dave Portnoy buy any one of them? I'll take Devin Brown. I don't care.
I mean,
I will have Dave Portnoy pay Devin Brown $3 million to be Michigan's quarterback.
And he could throw the ball better than Davis Warren, your best ball thrower.
Well, maybe. Jack Cuttle might be better.
Yeah, he's just dead.
Yeah, apparently.
Number 5, Ole Miss beat
Year 7 of college football for him.
Yeah, he'll be year 8 next year. Ole Miss beat Georgia Southern 52-13. Woo.
Don't care. How
Um,
about them Tigers, Caleb? If we
uh,
weren't mid-podcast, I'd play the song. Tigers won again.
that was incredible. That song is incredible.
We don't do we want to take a minute to talk about the Tigers? I don't know.
Let's do it in between NFL and football.
I'll do it on this. I mean, we talk about the Tigers on my stream all the time. That was an incredible comeback today, though. I will say that.
Yeah, I woke up from my nap and they won.
2 in the 6th, 2 in the 8th. Foley comes on and slams the door. Incredible.
Lucas, by the way, said that Michigan can have Riley Leonard if you want him. And thank you for the however many months of subs that is, Lucas. Jordan doesn't want Riley Leonard.
Hey, I'm not counting him out.
Ouch.
That's how bad things are.
Fair. Moving on. Keep this rolling. Number 6 Tennessee beat Oklahoma. Number 15 Oklahoma 25-15. This score ended up being closer than it should have been because Josh Heupel did un-Josh Heupel things. Probably just because Oklahoma's his alma mater and everyone loves him there. And Tennessee just didn't score points in the second half. That's it.
Yeah, it wasn't really ever much of a game.
Oklahoma fans are like, oh, we kept Tennessee close. You didn't score a touchdown till the fourth quarter, guys. In a debacle because Missouri might not be very good. They go to double overtime with Vanderbilt and win 30-27.
Is Vanderbilt back?
They were never here.
I mean, that's also true, but
Is Missouri ass?
tough to say. They are thought of very much in a different way than they were a week ago now, where it was looking like Missouri was just a playoff lock, and then now every single time I see people talk about Missouri this week, it's like they're probably, at least at current projections, gonna be one of the first 4 teams left out.
Yeah, I agree right now.
But they gotta lose first. They gotta lose some games.
Yep. Miami beat USF 50-15. Woo.
I don't even want to bring these games up. These stink.
Penn State won 56-0 on Kent State. Kent State's ass. Woo.
Kent State is really, really bad.
Kent State.
What a
so
terrible
bad.
2 weeks for Kent State fans. Oh my God.
I mean, they're 0-4, and I think they've given up. They might have already given up 300 points.
I want to say they've given up 120 points in the last 2 weeks.
I think they also had a third game in there where they also gave up another 50, so...
Because
They're
Tennessee put 70 plus on them. Penn State, who damn near lost to Bowling Green,
murdered them.
kills them.
Let's see. How many... the only game Kent State has not given up 50 in...
Oh, boy.
St. Francis, Pennsylvania. Kent State still lost that game.
Why are MAC schools playing schools like that?
Kent State still lost that game, by the way. They're 0-4. They lost that game.
Oh my.
They lost that game 23-17. Kent State. Kent State is balls.
I was gonna say, I don't know if we could talk shit about Ball State anymore.
Fuck. Moving on. Wow.
Wow.
USC traveled to the Big House to play the Michigan Wolverines, the number 18 ranked Michigan Wolverines. Michigan is less ass than USC. Michigan wins 27-24. I just drew a blank for a minute. The floor is yours because I've said all I have to say about that game. USC's ass.
There's not much for me from this game. Michigan won a game that not many people were giving them a chance to win. You know things are in rough shape when Charles Woodson is picking against Michigan.
Not just Charles Woodson, Desmond Howard.
Yeah, Charles Woodson. Well, actually, Charles may not have. I think it was Desmond that did.
It was Desmond that did. I mean,
Charles still probably picked Michigan.
I didn't see Charles pick.
Me neither. I want to say it was Desmond because I game day on. So you win a game that nobody gave you a shot to win.
Excuse me.
It was in pretty, I would say, ugly fashion. It was a really good first half for Michigan. They were doing everything they wanted to offensively, which included running the ball a shit ton. 2 long touchdowns for Khalil Mullings in this game, and 1 for Donovan Edwards. That really just powered the first half. And then the second half happened, and Michigan couldn't move the ball at all.
No.
And you see our USC's coming back. And they're coming back. Oh, shit. They got a lead. Oh, man, we blew our chance. Where Michigan found that final drive after not being able to do anything. They didn't get a first down for the majority of the second half, let alone think about scoring. And then to come through at the end was just massive, because you had to win this game. If you have any playoff aspirations at all, you had to win this game. You can't slip up the entire rest of the season against teams that aren't Oregon or Ohio State. And I don't even know if you can lose all 3 of those games, including the Texas game, and still make the playoffs.
It's hard to say.
What's his name? Miller Moss did not have a good first half. USC, just in general, offensively, had a really, really bad first half of football, and turned things around nicely. But
then Lincoln Riley happened. Michigan is a service academy offense. Oh, I fucking wish. I wish they'd run the option. It would make so much more sense for this team right now. It would. I do have 2 final things on this. Lincoln Riley happened and had the metaphorical Brian Kelly explosive diarrhea on the field, which fits for Lincoln Riley because he's done that everywhere he's coached.
He does that often.
Calling passes on their second to last drive, which made no sense. And then on 4th and gotta have it, first down 10 on your final drive, Miller Moss throws a 7-yard pass to a tight end who was covered.
It wasn't the worst pass I saw in any game this past weekend.
No, it was just a dumb decision making.
And that the passes that I'm talking about are not from a game you might think.
Like, that was just dumb decision making. I don't have much else to say. Like, Lincoln Riley's bad. As I said yesterday in Weekend Jorts, this game is why USC had no real respect as they were coming into the Big Ten.
Caleb, it's not even Aiden Childs.
Donovan Edwards might be asked too.
Khalil Mullings should have been RB1 after the Texas game, no doubt. And I think I essentially think that he is, because the carries are just about split, I want to say, as of late. And I mean, Khalil just does so much more.
Yeah, he just does better.
Donovan Edwards has the ball carrier vision of like a slice of bread.
That might be insulting to a slice of bread.
KA 0.
Like, I get our obligatory Avery text. For my bet for this game, I had Donovan Edwards to run for 40 yards.
Well, he did do that.
He had that 45-yard touchdown, rushing touchdown, which got him to 60 yards. I think he had 5 the rest of the game.
Yes.
I think he ended with 65. He's so bad.
Yeah. He had a long touchdown, and so it's, once again, I mean, I guess like this early in the season, and with already the Texas loss, you could say this is a big game for Michigan.
Yeah,
so
fair.
Donovan Edwards, of course, busted off a long touchdown. But this week against Minnesota, Who the fuck knows? He will probably be the good old Donovan Edwards that averages 2 yards a carry.
Moving on to what probably could have been the game considered game of the week. I'm assuming you were done.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Okay. Utah beat Oklahoma State 22-19. This game really wasn't close. Oklahoma State just had a flurry at the end to make it look respectable. No Cam Rising, no problems for Utah.
As usual.
Yeah.
At least when it comes to this season, team is just built really good.
Yep. Number 13 Kansas State lost 9-38, and now some dude has to shove a burrito up his ass.
Wow.
This game
this was a game, and that was a sentence.
Yep. All I got to say on this game, people on Twitter need to stop saying dumb shit that they're going to do something absolutely asinine if their team loses. Because you just look like an idiot. That's it.
I'm gonna do that now.
Shove a burrito up your ass if Michigan loses?
Well, no.
About to say.
I'll do the good old classic. What is it? Something about. Oh, I'll post a picture of ass if Michigan loses to Minnesota, and then the picture will just be Davis Warren.
Donovan Edwards.
Right? I mean, Davis Warren didn't hurt us last week, so
yeah.
I was calling for Davis Warren to be in the game on that last drive.
Yes, you were.
And because it was clear at that point in the game that Davis Warren is a better thrower of the football than Alex Orji, which is an incredible thing to say about a guy that threw 3 interceptions against Arkansas State. But he absolutely
that were some of the worst interceptions I've ever seen.
3 incomplete passes. They were all picks, and they were all brutal.
Did you think at any point on Saturday you wanted to see Davis Warren? Until that final drive.
No. Heading into the game, no.
Okay.
During the game, oh yeah, that second half. Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Moving on. Number 16 LSU survived UCLA. I mean, it was a 34-17 game. LSU pulled away in the fourth quarter. UCLA kind of fought for a little bit. That's it. That's the sentence.
LSU blows.
LSU blows. Notre Dame beat Miami of Ohio 28-3. Woo.
Cool.
Louisville beat Georgia Tech 31-19. I thought Georgia Tech was going to be good. I might be wrong.
Yeah. Ouch.
Ouch is right.
I didn't think they were going to be like necessarily playoff contenders, even in a wide open ACC.
I thought they'd be better than what they are.
At this rate, there is one ACC team that makes it, and it's because they fucking have to.
Yeah.
So we might get more competitive teams out of the American than we get out of the ACC.
Very possible. Iowa State beat Arkansas State 52-7. This game ended up being, I was very wrong about it. Clemson beat North Carolina State 59-35. Yeah. Friday night game. Nebraska beat Illinois 24-31. Illinois beat Nebraska in overtime 31-24. Jesus Christ.
I really like Illinois. It's weird to say.
Altmaier's good.
He's fucking. I said that going into the game. It's just every single week it seems he's a big reason as to why they win.
Like, Dylan Raiola looked good in this game for Nebraska. Nebraska's run game is so bad. So
at least when they face the quality opponent, yeah. And I mean,
like, at one point to start the fourth quarter, Nebraska had first and goal on the 1. Halfback dive, or well, just inside run, halfback inside run. They don't get it. Stopped at the 1. Second and goal from the 1. Inside run. Don't get it. Stopped at the 1 again. 3rd and goal, they go jet touch pass.
Tried something different.
And they got it. Their run game is so pathetic. That's all I got. Nebraska did have the very popular, I believe, 4th and 40 to end overtime was what it was. That's
high percentage situation right there.
Yeah. Number 23 NIU falls from the rankings after a 23-20 loss to Buffalo, meaning the max chances of a playoff team are starting to dwindle.
Oh yeah.
For a group of 5, that game in overtime. And then, rounding out your top 25, Texas A&M survived Bowling Green, 26-20. Texas A&M's ass.
We say that that the group of 5 chances of getting that automatic spot from the MAC are dwindling. Is Bowling Green the team?
With how they're playing against some of these Power 5 teams, possibly. Honestly.
They gave Penn State trouble. They gave, albeit a not very good Texas A&M team, trouble. And
I mean, it's possible.
They're just a little impressive.
They are.
Caleb says, pardon my language, but Raiola needs to get Mahomes' dick out of his mouth ASAP. That whole thing is really, really strange.
So weird.
That man is actively cosplaying as Patrick Mahomes while being a Division I quarterback.
Yep.
What in the hell is he doing? I don't think we brought this up on the podcast yet.
No, we have not.
It's totally bizarre. And
It's
not
weird.
just a coincidence. It's not just a coincidence anymore. When I saw that he does the exact same pregame run out as Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's weird. Same haircut, same number, same relative playing style.
Same routine, everything. Same pregame routine. Pregame routine. It is so weird. Raiola's little brother, who's also
same look. Exactly.
Yeah, looks the same.
I want to say he's even got the little goatee. The haircut's the same.
Raiola's younger brother, who is committed to Nebraska to play quarterback, looks like Jackson Mahomes. So,
no, there's no way.
I wish I was kidding. He kind of does.
I have to look that up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look that up at some point.
I love Dominic Raiola. He was one of the best players on some really bad Lions teams. What is he as a parent? What is happening, man? Dude.
I wish I could answer. Like, yeah, we haven't talked about this, but it's just fucking weird, man.
It's so strange. Because if he's all that everyone thinks that he is, then he's going to be playing against Patrick Mahomes at some point.
Yep.
And I mean, like, you were already a high-ranked recruit coming out of high school.
Ohio State wanted you. Georgia wanted you.
Georgia had him, and then he decommitted and went to Nebraska. It made no sense.
I said both teams had him, actually. Yeah. It's so weird.
And I mean, your name is tied. Like your dad was already in the NFL. But fuck that. We ain't trying to be the next generation of good NFL Raiola. We're trying to act like Patrick Mahomes. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Did you hear that?
No.
My girlfriend said, at least he's not acting like Jackson Mahomes.
I mean, yeah. Maybe that's what the little brother's doing.
Oh God.
Let's move on to the NFL recap so we can get out of here.
Oh God, yes. What a weird NFL week.
Starting with Thursday night, the Jets beat the Patriots. Patriots are ass.
Patriots are booty cheeks. That's about all I got. We do need to pump the brakes on the Jets a little bit.
They've beat 2 bad teams.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. That's really all I got. Aaron Rodgers looked decent at least, but again, 2 really bad teams.
Well, yeah, he looked really good against what ourselves and just about every other person that watches football said was going to be the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah, and then the Titans too.
Patriots pulled out week 1 against a Bengals team that I don't know what the fuck's going on with them, but they haven't beaten anybody like substantial.
No. Moving on, the Giants.
The Patriots. That Bengals win still baffles me.
Yeah. No, you're right. Titans and Jets. Woo. The New York Giants beat the Cleveland Browns 21-15. Browns are ass. Malik Neighbors might be saving Daniel Jones' career.
Dude, I was not exactly feeling the Malik Neighbors fantasy pick when I made it. And I said, we can roll back the draft. I said, I'm taking a chance here. And that chance is paying off for me in fantasy football. That's about all I care about from this game is that Malik Neighbors did good. Both teams are really bad, but the Browns are, once again, a team that had some semblance of expectations, even in a tough division. And they're abysmal.
So bad.
Deshaun Watson needs to be fucking just sent to the moon.
Deshaun Watson got outplayed by Daniel Jones. That's all I have to say about this game.
We were burning Daniel Jones jerseys week 1. And Malik Neighbors was not a factor. And then now the last 2 weeks now, albeit the Giants didn't win in week 2. But the Giants and specifically the Jones and Neighbors connection worked then. It worked in week 3. They've got something going there. And I mean, hey, if it works out and it's going to help out Daniel Jones and Malik Neighbors is going to go off, then you at least are going to be in some games. You probably still aren't going to win a lot, but you're going to be closer. And maybe that Daniel Jones contract starts to look a little bit better.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever going to look good.
But it at least doesn't look like complete shit.
It doesn't look like it did in week 1.
Yeah. Moving on. Revenge game for Malik Willis. The Packers beat the Titans 30-14. The Titans are terrible.
I fucking hate it.
And
now there's a chance that Jordan Love plays week 4. So we don't root for the injuries, but when they do happen, as a rival team, you are hoping that your team, the other team, kind of falls off a little bit, and then they're fucking 2-0 with Malik Willis, man.
He looks serviceable. Brian Callahan made a mistake. The best thing that comes out of Tennessee games right now is the what's going to be the meme pose of Will Levis of the week.
Will Levis. Caleb says Will Levis is fucking dog shit. Will Levis blows. Will Levis.
Will Levis might be the worst quarterback in the NFL.
And this is still not. Well, I'll tell you when we get there. This is still not the game where I saw some of the worst throws made.
Okay.
Which does confirm it was in the NFL.
Will Levis might be the worst quarterback in the NFL right now.
Oh.
Ugh. Moving on.
Because he doesn't do anything good.
No.
There are very few good things that Will Levis has done. It is so brutal. They picked the wrong guy and they lost the game because of it.
The only good thing Will Levis does is looks really goofy while he sucks.
To be fair though, if the quarterbacks are reversed, if Will Levis is the one that gets cut and he goes to Green Bay, I don't see his game playing out any differently.
No.
Well, no, and I mean that by the Packers still probably win.
Yeah, I agree.
Tennessee is just such a broken team top to bottom that no matter who they have out there, it's not going to go well.
I do agree.
But Green Bay, it just has a better offense, a better coach. They're more talented. I mean,
Yeah,
Blake Willis is. I mean, he's not really throwing to much of anybody, but they just have a much better system in Green Bay.
he's serviceable. He's not been like
for the last 25, 30 years, it hasn't mattered who they fucking have under center, they win games.
Yep. Moving on.
I hate them.
Moving on, the Indianapolis Colts beat the Chicago Bears 21-16. Woo, Caleb Williams looked good. No one cares. He threw the ball 52 times to get 350 passing yards, turned it over 4. He still sucks.
This is the game where I saw some of the worst NFL throws, the worst throws in a football game of the weekend, and they were not Caleb Williams.
Oh, Anthony Richardson looked terrible.
Oh my God.
When Anthony Richardson is good, he is super fun to watch.
So this is the thing, is that when Anthony Richardson is on his game, even somewhat, the Colts are going to be able to win games, and there were few things he did well, but not many. He made some of the worst passes. I mean, he overthrew guys in just ways that didn't make any sense. You're looking at this happen, and it's just like, well, am I watching a MAC game?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I expect out of like a MAC quarterback.
Yeah.
Not a first-round pick. Not somebody that was at the University of Florida. Not somebody that the Colts have given basically the keys to the franchise to. Oh, my God. Now, granted, he missed a big chunk of what would have been his rookie year, what was his rookie year.
He's
still kind of trying to figure things out.
He just looked so bad, though.
Oh, my God.
He just looked so bad, though.
Oh, John O'Corn levels of bad throws.
Like,
and they were shorter passes. Most of them were short passes that he overthrew.
Yep.
There was one throw, I don't remember the down and distance, but it was relatively short, I want to say. You got a wide open guy just throwing an out route right at the sticks. And the ball's 10 feet above his head.
It was... Anthony Richardson looked terrible. Bears fans are having...
They're giddy right now because Caleb Williams, he threw for 300 plus. Okay, cool. I don't care when you pass the ball 70 billion times a game.
Yeah, Bears fans
out of pure necessity because you were terrible.
Yeah, trailing to a team whose quarterback couldn't hit a 7-yard pass.
Oh.
Like, Bears fans are having Adnan Virk front of pants accidents because of 350 yards. Completely ignoring the 4 turnovers he had.
Well, and so here's the thing, is that the Bears defense is supposed to be what's carrying them right now. And if you look at the stat sheet, you'd say they did. But not really, because the turnovers, especially the interceptions there with Anthony Richardson, were absolute gimmies.
Yep.
Like, almost damn near impossible to fuck up kind of turnovers.
Yeah.
And they still lost.
But yeah.
Caleb Williams passed for 300. Your defense got turnovers.
You still lost.
Now, granted, you turned the ball over a lot too, and you still lost.
Yep. Minnesota, moving on. Minnesota beat Houston 34-7. This Minnesota team is good right now. They're hot.
Fuck it, man. Dude, life as a Lions fan is getting a lot more stressful than I thought, because the Packers are winning without Jordan Love. And the Vikings, who nobody thought was going to be worth a damn.
Especially after J.J. McCarthy's injury.
Well, that was when things really went wrong. You thought that their defense could keep them in games, and maybe if J.J. had a good rookie season that they were going to win a good chunk. But when it's Sam Darnold, who's had chance after chance to get things right in the NFL, and nothing has worked, and you got Sam Darnold coming out here, and through 3 weeks of the regular season, Sam Darnold's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
And not just statistically. He looks phenomenal. We
Yeah.
got Bill Belichick going on Pat McAfee saying, well, out of the draft, everyone likes Sam Darnold, just not the Jets. I mean, like, everyone's always thought that Sam Darnold could still be good and the Jets were bad. And then, I mean, he had a little bit of a run with the Panthers.
But it was the Panthers.
But it was the Panthers. Oh, my God. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Just such a weird team right now.
But fuck, damn. Like, they just continue to score. They continue to just be good, man.
Yep.
I don't know if we can start the Sam Darnold comeback player of the year, because he really was never there to come back from. But
as I've said several times, you can't really come back from just being bad.
What a career turnaround right now for Sam Darnold if he keeps it up.
Right.
And Minnesota does this all the time too.
Yeah.
Sam Bradford, Case Keenum. What kind of voodoo magic do they have?
Kirk Cousins.
Josh Dobbs for like 2 weeks.
Kirk Cousins, who wasn't good with Washington, but that was Washington under Dan Snyder, so.
Oh, he was good enough. I would say it's safe to say that Kirk Cousins earned that contract that he had with Minnesota.
Moving on though, and just this game was a game. Philadelphia beat the Saints 15-12. Saints offense finally has cooled down. That Eagles defense is really good. Saquon Barkley is really good.
This is what we were waiting for. And there's still some teams out there that were waiting on this as well. The Vikings are not one of them because they passed 2 tests now. But
yeah,
when you looked at New Orleans and you said, just what's happening? Like, how are they this good with basically the only thing that changed from last year being a healthy Derek Carr? And you have essentially no receivers. Your best receiver is a kick returner.
They still have Chris Olave when Derek Carr wants to throw to him.
That's the problem. He doesn't.
Yeah.
In terms of production, Rashid Shaheed is the best thing they have. Which just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Alvin Kamara is going off. He's kind of standing the test of time right now at the running back position, which is really hard to do.
Yep.
And, but yeah, the Philly defense was always going to be tough, man. And they didn't really pass the test, but I mean, Philly, I don't know what to think of them either.
Yeah, it's hard to say what they are right now. I have a few things to say about this Saints team. I'm going to save it for later. I'll let you guys speculate. Moving on. The Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Chargers 20-10. Justin Fields is still playing good. That's it.
Justin Fields is now playing good again. However, I don't know if we need to be calling out the Bears staff. I don't know if that's the smartest move.
Not yet.
You had one passable game, one arguably good game this past week. But in the first 2 weeks, you scored 1 touchdown, and you won games because of Chris Boswell.
Yeah, you can't start calling out the Bears yet. I mean, I've said it for the past couple of years. Justin Fields was not the problem with the Bears. The Bears were the problem. But yeah, don't start that right now. Moving on to the head scratcher of the week. The Denver Broncos beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 26-7. Huh?
Admittedly, I did not watch this game.
I did not either.
What the fuck? What happened? Also, Green Smoke, thank you, and I think hate that you're a Michigan fan. Oh god, now I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in this game.
Continue. Yeah, no, the Bucks that gave my Lions hell the week prior go out and play what we thought was
a bad team.
At least probably the second worst team in the NFL in the Denver Broncos, and look like ass? Like what happened? Because I really genuinely don't know.
Bo Nix had a rushing touchdown.
He'll probably have more of those this season than passing touchdowns.
Let's see. Because I didn't watch this game either, admittedly. Let's see. Baker threw an interception.
Prone to do that from time to time.
Yeah. Kate Otten lost a fumble, so they only turned the ball over twice. But
That's weird.
Denver turned one over once. I know Denver's kicker, not Brandon Jones. That's the Will Lutz made 4 field goals, but it's still.
Lucas just says Cleveland Baker showed up and the offensive line was shit.
Okay,
I mean, which could possibly explain Cleveland Baker.
Yeah,
Got a similar treatment.
Baker 25 for 33, a touchdown and an interception.
You don't expect the Bucs offensive line to play a bad game.
Yeah, I'd say there was no rushing game for Tampa. Bucky Irving had 70 yards. That was the most on the team. Rashad White had 17, and I would assume as a fullback, Sean Tucker had 4. So no running game there. But yeah, this was the head scratcher of the week.
I mean, was it really though? There were multiple head scratchers this week.
I think this was the worst one. Maybe because we do got this next one coming up. Moving on, we'll let you decide. The Carolina Panthers won 36-22 over Las Vegas. Andy Dalton Andy Dalton's the first quarterback to throw for 300 plus yards and 3 scores. Antonio Pierce, head coach of the Raiders, said, and I quote, "There are some players making business decisions out there. We're going to have to address that."
Oh, yeah. I forget the name of the player because he's relatively, let's just say forgettable. But there was a corner for the Raiders that very much made business decisions when it came to multiple plays in the game where he just decided, I ain't even gonna try to tackle. Former Patriot. I don't remember his name at all.
Let's see if I can keep going if you have anything else to say. Because I'm assuming you think this was the head scratcher.
Yeah, I do, because I thought this game was going to be the thing that just showed that it was the Panthers organization that was holding Bryce Young back. And yet, meanwhile, Bryce Young turns out to be the biggest loser of the week. You get benched, and you got Andy Dalton, who, for all intents and purposes, is relatively unremarkable. Come out and lead this team to a win against a Raiders team that just beat the Ravens the week prior.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Bryce Young.
Yeah.
And so now, any trade value, the slim trade value you already had for getting Bryce Young, because the reports are that there is no more interest in giving up a day 3 pick to get Bryce Young, is dwindling even quicker. One game, I know it's a very small sample size, one game might have me ready to call Bryce Young a bust. I wasn't ready a week ago. I really thought that Bryce Young could be a guy. Andy Dalton just led this team to the fucking promised land, apparently. If Carolina gets hot, Bryce Young might as well retire.
Yeah. Like this. Yeah, maybe Bryce Young is just not in it. He's just going to be another failed Alabama quarterback.
This is the head scratcher for me, because Carolina as an organization has taken over the Washington Commanders as the worst organization in football.
Yep,
I think.
I agree.
From the very top in Tepper to the coaches who apparently are going to answer to Tepper, to the roster, to everything else. It's just broken, but they came out with after one change, and all of a sudden things are looking good. Small sample size, they might look like ass in their next game, but
Yeah. Moving on, because like I said, yeah, you're right. Like Bryce Young, just he might not be good. Seattle beat Miami 24-3. The big note from this game, the words that no NFL fan wants to hear. Tim Boyle warming up. Tim Boyle made an appearance. The Dolphins are just having terrible quarterback luck. They've had terrible quarterback luck the past couple years. Skylar Thompson, Tua's backup, got hurt early in the third quarter. I believe it was.
You know, I never went back to fact check this from the Discord, but Ash posted something about anyone with a Dolphins jersey that is in the Miami area, if they want to show up for an open tryout, we need a quarterback.
I did see that.
At this point, that might as well be true. Oh, Miami, man. Killing me.
I don't know if I want to do it because the way they're going, you might die.
Well, no, I don't want to do it, and I don't own a Dolphins jersey, so I'm out of contention.
I'd buy one. That league minimum contract. Hey,
bring back Ryan Tannehill. There's an option.
Right. Moving on. Because there's just nothing to note from this game. Baltimore beat Dallas 28-25. This game was, for the most part, not really in doubt. Dallas looked terrible for 3 quarters. And then John Harbaugh happened for Baltimore, and they just kind of stopped scoring like they do sometimes in the fourth. But just really nothing of note. Like, this game wasn't really in doubt.
Even when Dallas loses, which is a win for the rest of the country, watching a Dallas football game is just one of the most depressing and sad experiences a football fan can go through. There's just no fun to be had unless you are a Cowboys fan. None.
Fair.
They're not an enjoyable team to watch. They're not likable. Sitting there at 1-2, Dak just got paid his big contract. Jump off the bandwagon, please, please, please. Who was on it?
Yeah. The only people that were there the only people that are on that wagon are Cowboys fans.
Which isn't a wagon.
Yeah.
God.
Like I said, this game was never really in doubt. If the Baltimore Ravens if John Harbaugh could get out of his own way, the Baltimore Ravens would have won this game by a lot more than what they did.
If there were awards for best coach in the first 3 quarters of a game, John Harbaugh would always be in consideration for that. But closing games is not exactly a John Harbaugh team specialty. So, kind of what we get. But
the LA Rams win.
Dallas is 1-2. Things are good.
The LA Rams won 27-24 over San Francisco. I didn't really watch this game. The highlight of it seemed to be pitchy woo-woo at the end.
That was a lot of fun. For a second, it actually looked like it was going to work.
Yeah. This
what's going on with the Niners? I mean, I know they've got some injuries, but
this Niners team's just, they're beat up. Christian McCaffrey's going to Germany to see a specialist, which usually if you're going to anywhere to see a specialist, not even Germany. If you're going to Germany to see a specialist, there's a problem.
Well, don't they play in Germany though?
I don't think so. No,
well then I got nothing. I thought that was the whole reason he was going.
No, it's the Giants and Panthers that play the Germany game, I think. So yeah, no, I got nothing.
No idea. Not good.
This team's just beat up.
They're beat up and a little bit broken.
Brandon Ayuk, who said he could be really good with be the number one player on a team if Debo and George Kittle and CMC weren't around. That was his whole basis of trying to get contract extension. The drama this entire offseason wasn't great.
Which was a stupid thing to say in the beginning, because if you look at the Niners roster when healthy, they have weapons at every position, and it's all fucking world weapons. When you take away one of the best tight ends in football, the best running back in football, and
the top
one of the best kind of, I would say, I'm gonna say this about Deebo Samuel, the best dual threat receiver that there is, because he's lethal in both the passing game and the running game. You take all of that away, the only focus is Brandon Ayuk. Of course you're going to get locked down.
Yeah. Like, and I'm not saying like him looking bad is on no fault of his own, because you become the only guy, because who else did they have? Fucking Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason, who's had 2 nice weeks.
Yeah. So like, but yeah, the whole basis of him trying to get big contract money was just asinine, and it looks kind of dumb for it right now. Moving on.
Well, no, because that was never going to work.
No. Moving on, the Detroit Lions beat the Arizona Cardinals 20-13. I didn't watch most of this game, so take the floor.
I did. Kind of a typical Lions game, to be honest. Lions are a first half team. They showed that. They played really well. Ran a really nice hook and ladder play.
I did see that.
Just every single week, it seems to be a wrinkle. And it's not even just in the offense. It's the fake punt. Jack Fox faking a punt from like our own 27-yard line or whatever it was. And it worked, didn't win him the game, but still, it's just, there's things that this team does every week that are just gambling Dan Campbell, and it fucking works.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just another example of it. Let him back in the game a little bit there at the end. Didn't do much offensively in the second half again.
I'm going to say real quick, I am going to stop you on that. Yes, they didn't do much offensively in the second half, but that defense did still show up to play. So
they did. That was one of the more impressive defensive performances I've seen from the Lions in a long time, because this is a Cardinals team that the week before put up, I believe, 41 on the Rams, who were in a game with the Lions in week 1.
Yeah.
So it was a Cardinals offense that finally looked like it was putting the pieces together of finally being that unit that they should have been. And that first half especially, they did nothing. And I mean, they still only scored 13 points. They didn't do anything crazy. And I don't know, but I really like the Lions' defensive effort in this game. Lions come out of this game, though, banged up. Frank Ragnow, torn pec, was lobbying to play this week. The psycho that he is. That's not going to happen. Hopefully he avoids IR, although I don't know if that's going to be the case. Good news is we got Graham Glasgow on the team. Played center in college, played center in the NFL. He can slide over. And then you just got to fill a spot on a guard, which hopefully we have somebody on the team already that's going to be capable to do that. But you also lose Derek Barnes, who isn't a defensive MVP or anything, but has been a pretty solid player to start the year.
And
for sure.
That defense, especially that back end, you can't really lose a lot of guys.
Well, Derek Barnes is a linebacker, but
middle level. At the middle level, you can't really look. I mean,
no, but if we're gonna lose anybody on the defense,
I'd
almost rather it be linebacker. Another one though that we don't have a lot of depth at least proven depth that the coaching staff seems to trust, is losing Marcus Davenport. That one really stings. when asked if James Houston was going to be the guy to kind of fill that role for the Lions, Dan Campbell was non-committal, which is just kind of
That's
an
never a good
indictment
sign.
of how we think about James Houston right now. I don't understand it. I want them to put him in this Monday Night Football game against the Seahawks. For better or worse, because I need to know why James Houston was on the cut line when it came to the regular season roster cuts to trim the roster down to 53. I need to know why. It's kind of the same thing as to why Alex Orji. I needed to see Alex Orji under center to understand
How awful he was.
The coaching staff might have been right about Orji. And I don't doubt Dan Campbell and the entire Lions coaching staff a lot, but I gotta see just how bad they think he is if they almost cut him and he just sees no meaningful playing time. Don't get it. But a nice bounce back win.
Yeah.
After losing to the Bucs for sure. Any win in the NFL is a good thing, and especially after the Cardinals are coming out hot after their game prior. I'm pretty happy with it, so can't complain about 2-1 too much. We faced two teams that we saw in the playoffs last year, 1-1 against them to start the season, beat Arizona. Good.
Yeah. Moving on. Stop me if you've heard this line before. Kansas City Chiefs win, beneficiaries of a controversial call at the end. Said it a few times.
I would say so. I would probably do the same thing. By the way, if I was in Arizona, Atlanta's coach, whatever his name is, I would do the same thing. Asked in the post game interview about that call on the no pass interference on Kyle Pitts in the end zone, and just be like, I like my money. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
Because it gets your point across, and you didn't say anything that's gonna get you fined.
Yep.
Bad call. Bad call. Bad missed call. I guess we should say. And it just happens with the Chiefs every week. Atlanta's really surprised me though. Atlanta has really surprised me because after week 1, I thought Kirk Cousins was dead. I thought his career might be over, but this season was just going to be a wash for Atlanta for sure. And it really turned around. Now, Kirk Cousins is still not as mobile. He's not as good as he was pre-injury.
And that did hurt the Falcons a bit.
After week 1, they are figuring it out, the limitations of Kirk Cousins a little bit right now. So that's good. I think it's really good coaching for Atlanta. And they might be a team that could, especially if the Bucs are going to be inconsistent, might have a chance.
Really, all I gotta say about this game, I got a couple things to say. I'm not entirely convinced that the man wearing 87 for the Chiefs I'm not entirely convinced that that's Travis Kelce, because he looks like dog shit. He has looked through 3 games. He has looked terrible.
Really funny to see people be like, "Well, he's getting double covered." He's not. He's not.
No.
Travis Kelce might be washed.
Should have retired last year.
The entire world celebrated that outside of Chiefs fans.
Should have retired. Patrick.
Well, especially so if what the stupid and even like, well, not dirt sheets. They're like, I don't know, like the Scum Lord magazines you see in the checkout line of Walmart.
Yep.
If even those types of outlets are saying that Travis's performance is because of his jet-setting lifestyle, where him and Taylor Swift just partied all off season, I don't know. There might be some truth to it. And I mean, I don't think Travis Kelce played a snap in the preseason. I would be very shocked if he did. But I should know. I mean, the Lions played the Chiefs at one point in the preseason. I think week 2 of the preseason. Didn't watch the game, of course, but
preseason football.
Yeah. So it's
Like,
Wow.
he's looked terrible through 3 weeks. He might figure it out because he is good. You're talking about future Hall of Famer, one of the best tight ends to play the game.
It was really funny to see the Chiefs, though, come out of halftime, and Kelsey catches a ball, 7-8 yards, whatever. Oh, there he is. He's coming back.
Yeah. And then
he did nothing the rest of the second half.
And that was his only catch the second half. Mahomes threw to him like 2 or 3 times, and he dropped all of them. Patrick Mahomes is continuing to regress. He was bad. He wasn't great last year. Has statistical regression.
You can't convince me that Patrick Mahomes has played a good game all season.
Yeah, he hasn't. This Chiefs team does not play real football. Like, at some point, they're gonna get bit in the ass by doing all their little cutesy things. We intercepted the ball. Here, hand it off to our other teammate. Or the motioning Patrick Mahomes out from under center. And
that play was unbelievable, by the way.
Yeah, which they didn't score on.
The fact that they tried that and actually did it, it's just like, so in a way, it's the same type of shit that the Lions do, but the Lions aren't unlikable.
It's not even.
That's why it is like so annoying when the Chiefs do it. It's like, we hate all of you guys.
It's not even necessarily that the Lions are like, the Lions play real football with it. It's not their entire brand. Like, going back to what we said earlier, where Chiefs fans were upset. Chiefs fans and Patrick Mahomes were upset about the offside call on Kadarius Toney in the Bills game last year. Oh, yeah. You took away one of the best plays in NFL history, where Travis Kelce threw the ball 15 yards across the field after catching it for a touchdown. Like, that is the Chiefs brand, where let's just do Madden shit.
Yeah. What crazy thing is Mahomes gonna do this week? I bet he's gonna throw a pass with his eyes closed again.
Yeah. And
Chiefs fans cream their pants.
Yeah, it's like, they don't play real football. It's gonna bite them one of these days. It's going to, because they're gonna do one of those stupid things like handing the ball off after catching an interception, and it's not gonna go clean, and they're not gonna get the interception.
One of the best NFL channels that I watch on YouTube is That's Good Sports, who has the Patrick Mahomes Award for a play that only Mahomes could make, that every other player could probably make if they really tried.
If they tried. That's awesome.
And so, like, everybody knows, like, this is the Chiefs' identity. You're totally right on that, because they're not really all that fun of a team to watch either, outside of the fact that they do some crazy shit from time to time. But they are infuriating for about 3 quarters.
Yeah. Really, the other thing I got on this game, neither of these teams wanted to win this game. Like, if it wasn't for Rashee Rice and this Kansas City defense, and
Rashee Rice had a game.
If it wasn't for Rashee Rice, Harrison Butker, and this KC defense, the Chiefs would probably be 0-3 or 1-2. Like, but Atlanta didn't want to win this game either. You saw what they did at the end of the game, and
ugly fourth quarter in what was shaping up to be a good game.
Yeah,
ugly second half. Right?
You have Chiefs fans that, the Falcons got a makeup call with a pass interference in their final drive. Guys, I want to talk. That wasn't that Trent McDuffie pass interference was pass interference. Trent McDuffie just.
Well, Chiefs fans don't know what pass interference is. It doesn't get called on them. It only gets called for them.
No, and this goes back to my point of majority of Chiefs fans are just the NFL's Golden State Warrior fans.
A little bit.
Where up until 7 years ago, they just didn't exist outside of Kansas City, and they were tolerable 7 years ago.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about Arrowhead being the crazy environment that it is, one of the most lively stadiums in the NFL, when Alex Smith was the quarterback.
Yeah.
Those were the Chiefs teams that were good enough to make the playoffs, and then they shit the bed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I hate that I was right about Patrick Mahomes. When he got drafted, I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Him with Andy Reid. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yep. That wasn't a makeup call on Trent McDuffie just standing there trying to set an NBA pick on on Drake London. That was a pass interference, and you can't make up what would have been a first down on the 1 yard line with a miss.
But it's just
the Falcons did do some dumb shit. Like, why are you're 4th and inches, why are you going outside zone?
Their play calling in this game, especially the second half, was a little bizarre. Nothing seemed right. It was kind of like week 1 Kirk Cousins, where nothing felt right.
Yeah. Moving on. The first of 2 Monday night games, the Buffalo Bills beat Jacksonville's ass. 47-10. Trevor Lawrence got his contract. I don't know what the Jaguars did there, paying that man. Jags suck.
Jags are really bad. Bills, to my surprise, might be really fucking good.
Yeah. The Jags, real quick on this, have not won a game with Trevor Lawrence as the starter since week 12 of 2013.
2013, that's not right.
2023, I'm sorry.
He was in high school.
Week 12, thank you. I'm glad you called. Week 12 of 2023.
Okay.
I'm tired. So yeah, week 12 of 2023. That was November 26th last year. Yeah.
Wait, what year did I? Last year. Okay, so no, I didn't see that Jags team. I was gonna say I saw the Lions play the Jags. I thought that was the same timeline year prior, but oh wow, Jacksonville. Jacksonville had a better team in 2022.
Yeah.
That team is just falling apart. They have no weapons outside of ETN. And
for whatever reason, they're not giving him the ball because, well, I know why they're not giving him the ball. They're trying to prove that Trevor Lawrence is worth the fucking money.
With what receivers to throw the ball to?
Yeah, like he has nobody to throw the ball to.
And that's the thing. I'm not gonna say that Trevor Lawrence is ass. I'm not gonna say that Trevor Lawrence is a bust. This is one of the worst wide receiver rooms in the NFL. And there's not a question about it. When we did the NFL preview, we knew the names of 2 guys.
Yeah, sure.
I believe it was 2. And that was a surprise to me. The receivers especially stink, but Lawrence hasn't really looked good.
I mean, the offensive line is terrible, though.
The offensive line is also ass. The entire team, top to bottom, is ass.
Yeah, they're ass.
Which I hate because I want the Jags to have success. Oddly enough, they're a team that also, like the Lions, have had no success in the NFL, albeit with the Jags, much smaller sample size. I want their fan base to feel joy. But your organization doesn't.
I'm going to take a small victory lap on this one. I figured that Trevor Lawrence was not going to be as good as what everyone thought he was going to be coming out of college, because what Dabo Swinney does down at Clemson offensively does make quarterbacks look really good, especially when you get weapons around them, and then Jacksonville doesn't want weapons. Everyone that first year of Trevor Lawrence's career was, it's all on Urban Meyer. Trevor Lawrence was still turning the ball over a shit ton. Year 2, he looked good, and then in 2022, but they've gone backwards since.
Yeah, the entire team has.
Yeah, I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence is ass, because he is not the worst quarterback in the NFL by far. But it's just not good for the Jags right now. And moving on to the final, unless you have anything else to say.
Negatory.
Moving on to the final game of the NFL season, or not NFL season, NFL Week 3. The Washington Commanders beat the losers in orange. Bengals weren't even wearing orange. They were wearing black on Monday night. 38-33. I have a couple things to say about this game. I've said most of what I want to say. Jaden Daniels looked pretty good. That Bengals defense, on the other hand, might be towards the worst in the NFL.
Cam Taylor-Britt, I'm sure you were going to bring this up at some point anyway, looks like an ass this week.
Fuck yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Because for one, you come out and say what you said in the first place. But then to walk it back and basically say, well, I didn't mean anything by it. I didn't mean anything by the fact that I said that they run a college offense.
I don't regret saying it, and I didn't mean anything by it.
When you're calling the reporter sir, things ain't going great.
And yeah, we'll talk about that now. Cam Taylor-Britt's just not very good. Bengals haven't had great luck with defensive backs in general. But Zach Taylor has no control over this locker room. You have Zach Taylor in the press conference asked about it, and he said, yeah, we need to never do that again. This is a fucking problem. And you have Cam Taylor-Britt treating it like it's not a problem. For all I'm considered, also, while we're staying in the defensive backs, the Bengals need to not draft anybody from the University of Michigan for a long time.
Who did something now?
Dax Hill is fucking awful.
Dax Hill wasn't really all that great at Michigan, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean,
as many people think that he was. No.
And that's the problem with this Bengals team, where their director of player personnel, because they don't have a real GM. They have a director of player personnel in Duke Torben, who's been there since 1998.
But hey, you do have an indoor practice facility now, so we're going in the right direction.
Yeah. They only have one college scout, who I don't know the name of, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't watch college football, because if he did, Dax Hill wouldn't have been a first-round pick.
He's probably accidentally watching the CFL.
Very possible.
College football league.
Yeah. The Bengals are the first team in NFL history. You have to go back 100+ years to find a team that did not punt, because the Bengals didn't punt, did not turn the ball over, because the Bengals didn't turn the ball over, and still lose.
Wow.
Or score 30+ points and still lose. Washington hasn't punted in 2 weeks. Their offense is firing on all cylinders right now.
That was a really funny Facebook post. Just post in general. I don't remember who it was. I think it was ESPN, where it said, Tressway hasn't punted since week 1. He's been healthy and dressed. They just haven't needed him.
Yeah, like that offense is firing on all cylinders. Jaden Daniels looked good. The defense looked terrible. I, as a Bengals fan, should be taking victory laps, because there are Bengals fans who are starting to realize what I saw 3 years ago when they gave Lou Anarumo a contract DC Lou Anarumo contract extension, and head coach Zach Taylor a contract extension. After the Super Bowl, I sat there, and you could go back and find the fucking tweets. Good luck finding them from 3 years, because
I can back this up. Austin has never really been a fan of Zach Taylor.
I would say good luck finding the tweets, because I do tweet a lot. I have tweeted a lot over the past 3 years about football and other stuff.
Twitter search function would actually have to work for that to happen.
That too. I said after when they re-signed Anarumo and gave both of them that extension, it's like, this is going to be a fucking problem in a few years. I should be taking a victory lap. I've been saying it every year. 5 out of the 6 years that Zach Taylor has been the head coach, they've started 0-2.
But it's your team, and you can't.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I would say that I've been there, but I really haven't. I'm one of the last people to jump on the fire the coach bandwagon, because that signals the full rebuild.
Yes, you're right.
Generally.
My thing with it is, 5 out of 6 years, they've started 0-2 or worse under Zach Taylor. Eventually, and I've been saying it, all these Bengals fans, well, they always start slow. Eventually 0-2 is going to become 0-3 like it has this year. And then when you go to 0-3, your playoff chances go down to about 2% to make the playoffs. It's only a handful of teams have done it in NFL history.
This sounds like a perfect transition into talking about the Detroit Baseball Tigers.
It will be in a second because I do have to go to the bathroom.
We're not talking Tigers, but I was just going to reference the fact that a little over a month and a half, actually under a month and a half ago, the Tigers' playoff chances were 0.2.
Yeah. Yeah, like you get to your next 11 out of 14 games, 10 out of 14, 11 out of 14 games become must wins. And you don't want to have a must win in week 4 against the Carolina Panthers.
No. Because we talk about the number that the number of wins that is going to get you into the playoffs. You have to at minimum go 10-7.
Yeah.
So you have 4 losses to play with the rest of the year. We are through 3 weeks of the year.
Yeah.
You have to play your best football at all times.
And I've been saying it for...
Things aren't going very well.
I've been saying it for 3 years. I should be taking a victory lap, but because it is my team, I can't. Bengals fans are starting to realize that we got some of these pylons that are still blaming somebody. Well, Sam Hubbard, he only has a pass rush win rate of 5%. Trey Hendrickson's is 33%. Yeah, the Bengals are still bottom of the league in terms of pass rush win percentage because the other 2 defensive linemen that they put out there aren't getting to the quarterback either. Only Trey Hendrickson is.
All right. Well, I will segue into you getting up with this is that Michigan State leads the Big Ten in sacks right now.
Excellent.
All right.
We're going to take a short break before the picks.
Short break, I guess. The picks are coming up.
Very brief.
In just a little bit.
Okay, when Jordan gets back, it will be time for Das Picks. Chance to get picks pulled up. Hi. Come on, back up.
So how about them picks, eh?
Das picks.
It is time for Das picks.
While Jordan's
which
pulling them
means-
up,
I was gonna say that means I have to pull up the picks.
we are both through 4 weeks of college football. 28 and 32.
Yeah, we suck, don't we?
We are not good.
Unfortunate part about me being at work as late as I was tonight. I was distracted by how annoyed I was with the people that kept us there as late as we did. I didn't do picks.
Meaning you missed the one NFL game.
Yes, correct.
Did I make a pick for it?
I guess we'll find out when we get there.
I
We
did.
have Friday night football to start off the picks this week. And by the way, now that we are really fully into Big Ten play, the majority of the picks are going to be Big Ten. We're going to pick every Big Ten game unless I fuck up and miss one.
Yes.
We start Friday, 8 p.m. on Fox. 3-1 Washington plus 1.5 heading to the birthplace of college football to face the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. You'll be doing a sidecast to this game. 59% of the people are on Rutgers minus 1.5.
Why am I calling this game?
Don't know.
Other than I just wanted to be able to say the birthplace at least once.
It's been said twice already in this podcast.
Yep. Some people say I'm a man of the people. In this case, they're wrong. Give me the Washington Huskies.
Wow! Really?
Yep.
I am a believer in stupid Rutgers. Give me the Scarlet Knights. Washington is 3-1, kind of to my surprise, but I'm taking Rutgers.
Fair.
I hate Greg Schiano too, and I can't stand that I'm doing it. But here we are. Saturday at noon, 3-1, number 20th in the country, Oklahoma State travels to K-State, ranked 23rd. Oklahoma State, a plus 5.5 road dog. K-State, bad game a week ago.
This is one of those games where I don't know what Vegas sees because K-State looked terrible against the Mormons. Give me Oklahoma State here.
All right, well, I'm thinking we're split on the first two picks then. I might regret this. I don't really believe in K-State, but I don't believe in Oklahoma State either. So
Fair.
I'm just left with something, and 5.5's weird. I'm taking K-State. 3-1 Maryland. This can't be Big Noon.
No, it's on Big Ten Network.
Okay. Oh, never mind. There we go. It is on BTN. Saturday noon on Big Ten Network. The 3-1 Maryland Terrapins plus 6.5 taking on undefeated 4-0 Indiana.
That head coach from Indiana University in Pennsylvania has the Hoosiers flying around. They're not a good team. They've played nobody. Maryland's going to be the first team with any semblance of a pulse, but Maryland doesn't have much of a pulse.
They don't really have a pulse.
Give me the Hoosiers here in this one.
All right.
At some point, they're going to...
United it is. I'm on Indiana, too. Haven't played anybody, but Maryland has not looked good in any one of their games.
No.
So, give me the Hoosiers. I can't trust the Terps. Saturday, noon. I don't think this is big noon either. In fact, I'm not sure what is. Oh, it is big noon. Okay. It is the battle for the Little Brown Jug, the oldest rivalry trophy in college football. The 2-2 Minnesota Golden Gophers plus 9.5 taking on the now 12th ranked Michigan Wolverines. The people widely, I actually should have brought the people up on the last one, but this is an even bigger spread when it comes to the people. 83% are on Michigan in the CBS picks pools.
Some people say I'm a man of the people, and in this case, they're right. This is, if Michigan loses this game, Sharon Moore might just need to be sent to the moon.
He won't, but...
No, but, because who else do you have?
I don't disagree. I'm gonna take Michigan, of course. Minnesota is not impressive in any way, shape, or form.
No.
You're looking at a 500 team, and you're starting Big Ten play. Although I think Minnesota has played a Big Ten game.
I think so.
They have to. They're 2-2. They have to have played a Big Ten game.
Yes, they have, and they're 0-1 in Big Ten play.
So I am taking Michigan, of course. 9.5. With as bad as the Michigan offense is, feels too small because Michigan defense should have no problem. Saturday, noon on Peacock, not on NBC and Peacock, just on the cock. 3-1 Nebraska, minus 10.5, taking on Purdue. Wow, the people spreads this week. They keep getting worse.
Yes, they
do.
do.
And they're going to continue to get worse. 85% of the people are on Nebraska, minus 10.5.
Oh, this could be a Purdue candidate, but I'm taking Nebraska here. Purdue's just looked lifeless. Other than one game, Purdue has looked lifeless.
Is this really much of a Purdue when Nebraska did just lose last week?
That is true.
Their title aspirations really aren't that high.
That is true. Either way, give me Nebraska.
Give me Hudson Card to the Purdue. I'm kidding. Give me Nebraska.
You couldn't even make it all the way through it.
No. I would love to pick Purdue in honor of Tucker, but I can't after we were on Purdue, both of us, when they played Notre Dame.
That was a Purdue candidate, and then they got murdered.
Oh, God. Saturday, 1:30, ESPN plus 1 and 2, Ball State plus 20.5, taking on James Madison. And I said the people spreads continue to get bigger. James Madison is picked by 80% of people, 87% of people on CBS.
Ball State is balls, but they're not as much balls as Kent State.
Correct.
That being said, give me James Madison.
I'm on James Madison as well. If this was 21.5, I'd probably have to think about it, but JMU is just a better team than Ball State in every way, shape, or form. Saturday, 3:30, ESPN Plus. Yet again, the 4-0 Liberty Flames minus 3.5 taking on the App State Mountaineers, I believe.
I think so.
What the fuck happened to them last week?
Yeah, we're talking about a team in App State that had playoff aspirations for a group of 5 team, and they got dumpstered by
South Alabama.
Thank you, because I forgot.
I didn't forget. I watched that entire game.
Yeah, I was streaming during that, and when you came in and told me it was 41-7 or whatever...
41-7, I believe, was the score, yeah.
I thought App State was up 41-7.
No.
They were not. That being said, I can't pick App State. After you could throw any number at me after last week. Give me Liberty or give me death. Liberty is a better team than South Alabama. And App State just looks lifeless all of a sudden. Team that had Aspirations.
It's pretty rare that I choose death. I'm choosing death. This is probably going to be one of the games that swing me into having a terrible college football week in the picks yet again.
Could be.
I am taking App State on a complete whim. There is nothing that says I should pick App State except the fact that this spread feels like it should be bigger. And the fact that it's close, for whatever reason, really should make me pick Liberty. I'm not getting that much.
You are not.
I'm taking App State. Well, we didn't talk about Colorado in the college football recap. They pulled off the improbable last week with the Hail Mary and then the overtime win. Colorado is 3-1, but they are plus 14.5 as they take on undefeated UCF. Now, this is one of the first times that the people are favoring the dog. Well, only slightly, 59-41.
I'm on the side of the people here. I don't think Colorado's going to win. But has UCF played anybody?
Doubtful.
Like, oh, they got to win against New Hampshire. And they've played this season New Hampshire, Sam Houston, and TCU. They beat TCU by 1 point. TCU is not a good team, so yeah.
No.
That makes it even easier for me to pick Colorado. I don't think Colorado's going to win, but they'll at least cover.
Yeah, this spread feels a little bit too big, I want to say, to the point that I could pick UCF. I don't think Colorado wins this game. I can't be sure that Colorado's going to win any game. I mean, they were staring 2-2 in the face and pulled it out. But I am going to take Colorado this time, which is a rare occurrence. Saturday, 3:30 on CBS. We have what might be two pretty bad Big Ten teams.
This game
is one worse than the other. 2-1 Wisconsin plus 14.5, traveling to the Coliseum to take on number 13 USC.
Wisconsin, like USC. And I even made the joke earlier in the recap where I called them USC. USC is bad. Wisconsin, you want to talk about a team that is lifeless. That's Wisconsin. Give me USC here to win big. This is the Lincoln Riley game where they could just pound their chest and look how great we are. Look how great. And a lot of people are gonna look at the scoreboard and be like, "Oh yeah, they scored a shit ton of points," and not realize Wisconsin is balls.
This is going to be USC's first home game in the Big Ten. I feel like they pull it out, but this number is just a little strange to me. That had me kind of in between Wisconsin and USC. I'm gonna pick USC. Because Wisconsin did what they did against Alabama, and I'm not super high on Alabama. So I'm going to take the Trojans here on this one, although I don't particularly like it. To the primetime slate, almost. Saturday, 7 p.m., ESPN Plus. Is it really primetime if it's on ESPN Plus? Not really.
Not really.
Our shit fest of the week!
This is not the shit fest.
Well, I mean... It's a shit fest.
Yes.
It's a booty fest.
Yes, it is.
It's a booty fest because 2-1 UL Monroe plus 7.5 general booty at quarterback, man. Take on the 1-3 but yet favored Troy Trojans.
If you have $8.49 and you're in the Troy, Alabama area on Saturday at 7 p.m., you probably have something better you can spend your money on than this game. This game is going to be terrible. I don't know how the Troy Trojans are favored, Give me the UNL, Jesus, the UL Monroe, University of Louisiana Monroe Warhawks.
Give me booty or give me death. UL Monroe.
Things I wasn't expecting to hear tonight.
I'm not saying that Vegas is wrong and the people are wrong. But I don't really get it. I don't really get it at all. I mean, no, who cares? This game means nothing.
Yeah.
Saturday, 7:30 on Peacock. The 3-0, third-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes minus 25.5. Traveling to the deep end of the woodshed. Keep chopping. Spartan dogs for life. 3-1 Michigan State, who really should have beat Boston College last week in a fucking monsoon.
Other than the fact that Aiden Childs turns the ball over a lot.
Wow, both teams played like ass.
They did.
That was a shit fest.
Why is this game at 7:30? And this game was at 7 and they pushed the time back.
Michigan State's 3-1. They've already gotten half of their wins from last year.
O-H-I-O. Give me Ohio State. I wasn't going to pick Michigan State regardless.
So, weird number again.
Yep.
I think Aiden Childs does enough good to cover. Now, the Michigan State defense is bad.
Not good.
But, and I mean, they're bad, but mostly unproven outside of, I mean, I can't count the Boston College game as proving anything.
Yeah.
I really can't. So, I'm going to take a boatload of points on the fact that Aiden Childs can do some things really well, but then do some of the worst things you've ever seen in the same game. Like, well, he's 18 years old. Well, good. He looks like it. So I'm going to say that he does some good enough to cover. And I think that's why the people split on this is not that much. That,
yeah,
obviously MSU is not going to win this game, but 25 is a lot. It really is. All right. 7:30 on NBC. 4-0 Illinois, number 19th in the country, is plus 17.5, taking on Pants State.
The last time Illinois went to Happy Valley, we had a game that set college football back 100 years.
Oh my God.
And
Illinois was good. Illinois was good then too.
Yep. With that 9 overtime game. I'm not saying we're going to get 9 overtimes or a game that's going to set us back 100 years.
But you're saying Illinois covers.
Illinois at least covers. I wouldn't be shocked if Illinois wins this game. And like I've been saying it all year, Penn State is fraud.
Illinois, at least when you looked at their schedule at the start of the season, should have had 2 losses by now.
Yeah.
But they have pulled these games out. I would also not be surprised if Illinois wins the game, but I would be surprised if they don't cover this. Like, they might not win. I think this is going to be a game, and actually probably a pretty good game. But I think the biggest surprise would be them not covering. I really do.
Agreed.
Give me Illinois, the Fighting Illini, as we head into the true primetime slate with very few games on national TV. In fact, none. Saturday, 8 o'clock, ESPN Plus. I believe this is possibly what you were referring to as the shitfest of the week. 0-4, New Mexico is minus 7.5 as they travel to their in-state rival, New Mexico State. See, I don't believe I get to see the people when I pick these games, because I pick them on a Tuesday, pretty much as soon as I'm allowed to pick them. So the people aren't really a factor anyway. But the fact that an 0-4 team is -7.5, but the people are like, no, we're gonna pick the 1-3 team instead.
Give me 1 second. I have to try and force myself to remember something. Yes, I do have a reason as to why this is also one of the worst. Might not just be one of the worst. New Mexico is ranked 131st in total defense. New Mexico State is ranked 133rd. These teams are two of the worst in the country in Division I FBS football. I am taking
this game might be 7-6 or 55-53. I don't know which one.
Yeah, no, this is probably going to be one of the worst games we'll see all year. And I won't watch it.
I don't subscribe to ESPN Plus. I might for this game as a lover of bad football.
I am taking New Mexico State, who does have a worse ranked defense and worse ranked offense, simply because the New Mexico Lobos lost to an FCS team in week 0. Give me New Mexico State, the Aggies, who are an underdog at home.
I don't know what to do with this game. So I am going to do something that I do very often in games that, for one, I have no idea what the fuck's gonna happen, and two, where I'm just, what is Vegas seeing? Vegas is seeing something. Give me New Mexico. I'm picking an 0-4 team as a favorite. What are we doing? The picks have lasted so long, I have to hit the music again. But we're almost done. 2 games left. Saturday, 8 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. The 1-2 Air Force Falcons -3.5 at 0-4 Wyoming.
Air Force.
What did I say?
Oh, nothing. I'm just saying.
Oh, I thought that was a correction.
No.
Yeah. Okay, give me Air Force.
Sorry.
And then to wrap up the college picks, Saturday at 11, Big Ten After Dark. The number 8 Oregon Ducks are 3-0. They are favored by 24.5, taking on a bad UCLA team that somehow put up a fight a week ago.
They put up a fight a week ago just because LSU was bad, Brian Kelly's bad, and they should feel bad.
But Oregon hasn't looked good the first 2 weeks.
Oregon has not looked good other than their beatdown of Oregon State.
No. That was never a game.
That was never a game. UCLA, though, needed a extra point to beat fucking Hawaii, I believe it was. Need to beat Hawaii by 1 or 2. Yeah, goofy things happen on the island, but this spread could be a lot bigger, and I'd still take Oregon. UCLA is just pitiful. They got bludgeoned by Indiana 2 weeks ago.
It's just not big enough to the point that I can even think about taking UCLA, to be honest. So give me the Ducks. Those are your college picks. Hopefully, I'm not total ass.
I just closed my NFL picks.
Speaking of ass, when it comes to picks, me and the NFL
had a bad NFL week. I am 25-23. This might be
rebounded a little bit when it came to Sunday Night Football and one of the Monday night games. I had 4 correct picks at the start of Sunday Night Football.
This is the first time in picks history that one of us might be above 500 after week 2. I'm 25-23. Jordan is 21-27.
It turns around this week.
We've had some struggles picks,
despite the fact that I didn't pick Thursday night.
Well, you want to say it because I did.
All right, so the Cowboys and Giants just played on Thursday Night Football. Dallas was favored by 4.5, and I totally would have been on Dallas. And they covered, but barely. I
was on Dallas because, well, Giants are bad. They did barely cover, but the moth just flew in front of your camera.
I killed the moth. There's another one?
Something just flew in front of your camera. Let's move on to Sunday.
We head into the Sunday 1:00 slate. The 2-1 New Orleans Saints plus 1.5 taking on their division rival Atlanta Falcons. And nobody knows a damn thing about either of these teams yet.
Wow. Give me the Falcons. Like,
I would generally say the Falcons simply because I feel like the Falcons are a little bit more proven, right?
yeah.
The Saints offense with this current configuration had 2 good weeks. They faced a really tough defense in Philly and didn't pass that test. However, Kirk Cousins is still essentially immobile despite having a good last 2 weeks doing what he's been able to do. But the Falcons defense is not the Eagles defense.
No.
So I am going to take the Saints in what is essentially a pick'em here.
Yeah.
Might as well. Trouble in paradise. Well, Cincinnati's not really paradise, but the Bengals are 0-3, yet they are favored by 4.5 taking on the Panthers coming off a what-the-fuck performance from Carolina.
The Bengals need to win this game, so I'm taking them. This might be the last time I pick the Bengals this year.
If the Bengals lose this game, same. I am on Cincinnati. I'm not a hater. I am a believer in the Bengals. Please turn this around. I can't handle this team being bad. They shouldn't be this bad.
Zach Taylor.
We move on. The Rams.
You're reading that right.
Rams have had an up and down season. I get it, but they are plus 2.5 as they take on the Chicago Bears.
This was a weird one. This is one of those games that I look at and what's Vegas seeing? Give me the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I said it 2 weeks ago about the Rams.
I just said it in the college picks that in the what's Vegas seeing games, I usually try and take what Vegas is seeing. I can't with the Bears. Great. Caleb Williams threw for 300.
Yeah, cool. In a game they were trailing the entire time.
Yeah, on 700 passing attempts, and it didn't matter. Give me the Rams. They're even with the defense having so many questions, they're still more talented. Their offense, even without Puka Nacua, should still be enough to beat the Bears. Gotta imagine.
Agreed.
Sunday, 1:00 CBS, the 3-0 Minnesota Vikings plus 2.5 taking on Malik Willis and the Packers.
I'm on the Vikings here. I don't think that, like, Malik Willis has played 2 good weeks. 2 serviceable weeks.
And not even really good, just good enough to win. With a abysmal running game with Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, was not good the past couple weeks.
It's Green Bay running backs, man.
Has not been good the past couple weeks. Josh Jacobs hasn't. I think that's just there's too much going against him right now for me to pick the Packers. So give me Minnesota.
Another Avery reference on this podcast. He's talking about dropping Josh Jacobs from his fantasy team.
I don't think I'm going to go that far. Yeah.
Give me the Vikings.
Yeah.
All right. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 0-3 and plus 5.5 taking on CJ Stroud and the Texans. And oh my God, are the people on the Texans?
Yeah.
81% of the people.
Yeah, I'm also on the Texans right here. The Jags just are so bad.
What? Jacksonville sucks.
Yeah,
now, you know what? I don't know if I still have a video of that. That is a callback to the aforementioned in this podcast game where I saw the Lions take on the Jags and the kids in the row or a couple rows in front of me for 3/4 of the game until the parents finally convinced the kids to say something else, just screamed Jacksonville sucks every time they had the ball.
Hell yeah.
So those kids were right. Give me Houston. 1 o'clock CBS, the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. We may have been very wrong about the Steelers because I said, as a Mike Tomlin guy, that the Steelers were going to finish under 500 under Mike Tomlin for the first time. They're fucking 3-0.
Yeah,
Taking on a Colts team that, as we talked about earlier, Anthony Richardson threw some of the worst NFL passes, some of the worst football throws I have seen in a long time. And the people are noticing that. 74% of the people are on the Steelers, despite the spread being only 1.5. Minus 1.5 for Pittsburgh, a road favorite, barely.
Yeah, I said in the NFL preview show we did a few weeks ago that Mike Tomlin would probably get fired, and I'm a Mike Tomlin guy as a Bengals fan. He's a great coach.
Yep. You don't hang around with one franchise for that long without being good.
Yeah. The Steelers team has proven me wrong. They're playing good football, mostly on the defensive side. Justin Fields in the offense is doing enough to get it done. All I gotta say is free Najee Harris, guys. Like, come on.
His career's over.
What?
He's a running back that they don't get paid regardless after their rookie deal. And we're talking about a guy who granted had the talent, but the Steelers just haven't used him.
Yeah, he's shown and he does show flashes of being good.
Yes.
Give me the Steelers here. That defense is too good. They're playing too good of football, and Anthony Richardson's just playing too loose with the ball right now and making some terrible throws.
I'm convinced that the Colts playbook when Najee Harris is on the field is just halfback dive.
Oh, you mean the Steelers?
Oh, Steelers. Sorry, yes. That being said, I'm taking the Colts. Anthony Richardson is kind of a better version of Caleb Williams in a way. He does some really good. He does some really bad. He's kind of an NFL version of Aiden Childs in a way.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm taking it, and I'm going to regret it. Chris Boswell is probably going to kick 6 field goals again. But give me Indy. They turn it around, and Anthony Richardson is not ass 2 weeks in a row. He's just too streaky to be bad 2 weeks in a row.
That's fair.
1 o'clock CBS, the 1-2 Denver Broncos. Denver won a game. Might as well be their Super Bowl. Are plus 7.5 taking on the New York Jets, who still don't face any real challenge. Well, no, they faced the real challenge, and they lost.
Yeah, that is true. Give me the, I almost said the Packers, but give me the Jets. Give me Aaron Rodgers in this game. Give me the Aaron Rodgers team in green in this game, because the Broncos just aren't good.
If Aaron Rodgers is going to continue to get better, and the Jets are going to continue to play a little bit more consistent football, then the Jets could be a wagon. I'm not on that bandwagon yet, but I am this week.
Yeah.
The double swerve. Give me the Jets. Final 1 o'clock game, the 2-1 Philadelphia Eagles, minus 2.5 on the road to take on Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Give me the Eagles.
Not even a thought. I don't really know what happened with Tampa Bay last week, but the Eagles find a way over these last couple seasons to win games like this, where just tight games, close games, it's gonna be close.
Yeah.
One way or another. I am gonna take Philly. To the 4 o'clock slate, the 2-1 Washington Commanders plus 3.5 taking on the Cardinals from the State Farm. I was gonna say dome. It is a dome.
State Farm
Stadium. I know the real name, but I was trying to come up with something funny, and nothing came about. So
fair enough.
We got what we got.
If you have $15.45 and you're in the Glendale area, Normally, when I say when I bring the price up, I say don't go. This week, kind of mirroring last week, when the Cardinals had the cheapest ticket price in the NFL. This game could be worth the watch. Got two teams that have some really good offenses, and the Commanders right now seem to be clicking. In Arizona, I mean, they didn't play great last week against a good Lions defense, but as we just saw this past Monday with the Commanders, the Bengals didn't punt. They scored on every drive except for one, in which they had a missed field goal there. The Commanders defense isn't clicking yet. This game could be worth the watch. Give me the Commanders, though.
Ooh. I find these teams very similar in a way.
They are.
But the Cardinals, at least in terms of their quarterback, have been doing this longer. -3.5. I don't know. I'm flip-flopping. Give me Washington.
Sure.
Give me the Commanders. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be the best rookie quarterback that plays this season.
Agreed.
Assuming we don't see a whole hell of a lot of Drake May. Well, speaking of Drake May, 4:05 on Fox. The 1-2 Patriots plus 10.5 taking on the 49ers, who are in peril.
That number could be higher, and I'd still take the 49ers.
10.5 is a lot in the NFL, even with as bad as the Patriots should be, and as good as the Niners should be. If San Francisco figures their shit out, then this is completely dumb. I can't believe I'm doing it. I'm picking New England.
Okay.
New England, I say this when it comes to New England, and I hope that they keep this narrative into this week. You saw how much that week 1 win meant to them to take down the Bengals. Celebrate. I mean, they gave Gerard Mayo a Gatorade bath.
Yep.
They're gonna show up to this game, I hope, like it's their Super Bowl. Now they're not gonna win. They're not gonna beat the 49ers at all. But 10.5 is a good chunk of points. Give me the Patriots. This is probably why I'm like 21-27. But regardless, 2 more games in the 4 o'clock slate. The 1-2 Browns in a pick'em with the 1-2 Raiders.
This number
Can
could
we
be...
Can we do this in a pick'em?
Well, this number could be higher, and I'd still pick the Raiders. Deshaun Watson just got outdueled by Daniel fucking Jones.
Now, granted, Raiders are going with Gardner Minshew, but I take Gardner Minshew as my quarterback over Deshaun Watson right now.
There's the possibility of no Myles Garrett, too. Yeah, give me the Raiders.
I with or without, give me the Raiders. This team beat the Ravens somehow, some way. Final 4 o'clock slate game. The 3-0 Kansas City Chiefs -7.5 taking on the Chargers. Justin Herbert got banged up last week. J.K. Dobbins was rather ineffective.
I wish I could take the Chargers here. And you got Chiefs fans who are sitting, oh, this game's lining up for the Chiefs to lose. With Joey Bosa hurt, Derwin James suspended, Justin Herbert hurt. No. Stop. Chiefs fans, stop making this narrative that your team's always the fucking underdog. Fucking stop. You have so many people on this Chargers team. Joe Alt, questionable, probably not going to play. Justin Herbert got banged up. Joey Bosa got banged up. Derwin James suspended. Give me. I wish as someone who just fucking hates what the Chiefs have become to be able to pick the Chargers, but I can't. Give me the Chiefs. I'm afraid as to what I'm about to see.
It's a little dusty. I apologize. Give me Coach Harbaugh.
That is very dusty. Holy shit.
give me Coach Harbaugh to win a big game. To do what everybody wants, everybody outside of Chiefs fans want to have happen. Give me the Chargers.
Oh, I'm going to be rooting for Jim Harbaugh for the first time in my life.
That's probably true.
Like,
J.K. Dobbins returns to form, stays healthy, and the Chargers get back to what they did in the first 2 weeks. Give me L.A.
I like it.
Sunday Night Football, Bills are 3-0 plus 2.5. What a fucking shitty start to this season for the Ravens. My God. Oh, I gotta play everybody. And then they just lost to the Raiders for some reason. The Bills are absolutely on fire, yet they are road dogs by 2.5.
Give me the Ravens here. They kind of look like they're starting to figure it out. John Harbaugh might finally realize that Derrick Henry's good at football. And he needs to touch the fucking football.
Well, he's not used to having a true running back.
That is true.
J.K. Dobbins just got hurt after 2 weeks every year.
Yeah. But yeah, give me the Ravens. This was a hard one.
Ravens lost to the Raiders. Give me the Bills.
Okay.
I think for whatever reason, in a season where the expectations dropped for the Buffalo Bills, they are playing above those expectations, above the expectations of a year ago. I don't really get why. I don't really understand the success, but the Bills are just playing really good football right now. I mean, okay, cool. We blew out a bad opponent. You should blow out a bad opponent if you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Bills did that. Give me Buffalo. You're not giving me a field goal. Give me the Bills.
Fair enough.
Monday Night Football. We got the damn split Monday Night Football games again, where both games are going to be happening at the same time. It blows.
This game blows.
The 7:30 start does blow. 0-3 Tennessee Titans in a pick'em, our second pick'em of the week, which we don't generally have a lot of, taking on the Miami Dolphins, who might be throwing you out at quarterback.
Yeah. Give me the Dolphins here just because I'm convinced anybody can be better than Will Levis.
I'm on the Dolphins as well, because the Dolphins as a team are just better than the Titans.
Yeah.
So Miami is down to QB3. I'm not convinced QB3 is worse than Will Levis. I'm just not.
Yeah.
So give me, they could throw Nathan Peterman out there, and I might still take the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And we wrap up the NFL picks and the picks in general with Monday Night Football 2, 8:15 on ABC. The 3-0 Seattle Seahawks plus 3.5 taking on the Detroit Football Lions in the debut of the black uniforms. Again.
Who do I have to pay for this to stop being a fucking regular season game?
Dude, what the hell? We face off with Seattle. We played Seattle at home a year ago.
And the year before that. I checked it yesterday. You have played Seattle at home 3 years in a row.
I mean, it's kind of the same deal with Arizona. We go to Arizona a lot. We go to Dallas a lot.
Like, who do I have to pay for this to stop being a regular season game?
I don't know.
Like, because I will pay. I'll pay them something. I don't know what, but something. I'll pay them a visit and punch them in the fucking throat till they shit themselves. I am tired of seeing this matchup. For my sanity.
3 straight years.
For my sanity, I hope Detroit finally wins one of them. So give me the Lions here.
I'm glad you brought it up. In terms of regular season matchups with the Seahawks in this current run, in the Dan Campbell era of the Lions, the Seahawks have had the Lions number. There was one game where the Lions scored a fucking shit ton. The only problem, the Seahawks scored an even bigger shit ton. Lions didn't force a punt the entire game. Last year, more of a game, but still not enough. Something has got to change. You can't let the same team beat you 3 straight years when they look basically the exact same, especially as they did a year ago. Probably a big game for Kenneth Walker again. But give me the Lions. They finally figure it out, and they beat the Seahawks in the regular season. I don't get what it is with Seattle that this Lions team can't figure out. But this Lions defense is better than it has been in those previous 2 games. So give me the Lions. And those are your NFL picks for week. I almost said week 3. Week 4.
It's time for Champ and Chump, so we can go to bed.
Yep.
Do you want to start, or you want me to start?
I can start. That's fine.
We still have Aaron Guitar on the graphic, by the way.
We do. Yes, he stays there for the duration of the season. Anyone that appears on Champ and Chump of the Week twice, Aaron Guitar was a surprise to appear twice in 1 week.
Fuck.
This entire segment last week was talking shit about Aaron Guitar, Mr. 7.32 ERA.
Yeah. Your champ. Let's go.
My champ of the week is Oakland Athletics fans. The fans of the Oakland Athletics for so many reasons. So, their final series in Oakland before a temporary move to Sacramento, where I believe they're just going by the Athletics until their new stadium in Vegas is built.
Yes. Believe so.
Happened this weekend, their final regular season game, their final game in general, because they're not going to the playoffs. Game happened tonight. Oakland fans. Now, granted, am I promoting property theft? Maybe a little. I love the energy of stealing seats from the Coliseum before the final game played at the Coliseum. I love that. I want to figure out what happened with that. I would be really surprised if those fans were able to take those stadium seats outside of the stadium.
That was incredible.
And they're still in possession of them. I would be amazed.
That was incredible.
That was
and Oakland sold out today for the first time in fucking ever.
And that is part 2. 46,000 Oakland fans showed up for the final game in what is pretty much a big fuck you. Like, let's be honest. For one, you get to see your team in your city for the final time. But 2, you put a team out there that was so bad for so long where you couldn't even come close to selling out that stadium. You had to tarp off the majority of all of the upper deck, the top deck, a good chunk of the middle deck, and the top of Mount Davis to have your stadium not look empty as hell. You basically sold the lower bowl for years.
Yep.
Because you didn't put a team out there.
Yeah, and you want to blame the fans. The owner did.
Unreal.
Yeah. Big fuck you to the owner. Like, the fans want there to be baseball there, but
they do. And I mean, I get that the Athletics have traveled before. They have moved before. But you called Oakland home for 57 years. And A's fans fucking showed out in a phenomenal way. Now, I am glad that the A's untarped everything other than Mount Davis, which I kind of get why they didn't. That is where they keep their number retirements.
Yeah.
At least keep them in there somewhere, because I don't think they're anywhere other than a tarp in that stadium.
Yeah.
A's fans, big win. But, I mean, the Coliseum's a shithole. I get it. That stadium could be so much less of a shithole with some basic work done and the destruction of Mount Davis. Because if you go back and look at pictures of the Coliseum pre-monstrosity in center field,
Yeah.
it has a phenomenal skyline.
Yeah.
But Al Davis happened. So, A's fans, my champ of the week.
And that's fitting because every time, like, they did all of their reverse boycotts where they tried to fill the stadium to prove that people wanted there to be baseball, and they were able to show up to try and save that team, but their owner, who I'm sure you're going to talk about in Chump of the Week,
surprisingly not.
Oh, their owner
you might. I will not.
No, unfortunately. Their owner's just fucking, he is probably the worst owner in professional sports right now. Like,
well, and I mean,
at least American professional sports.
You're talking about moving a team from a location with a dedicated fan base that has had every single team ripped from them.
Yep.
The Warriors, even in their height,
moved across the bay.
Oakland home. They go to San Francisco. The
Raiders.
The Raiders move away. The entire thing is that it is very hard to find dedicated fans in Vegas. There are Vegas locals, plenty of them. Are they going to go to games?
Hard to say.
Or are you going to have the same problem in a multi-billion-dollar spaceship again in Las Vegas? And Oakland loses 2 teams to Vegas, which just blows.
We need to stop sending.
I hate it. I hate it, and I've never gone through the experience of having a team that I'm a fan of relocate. But thankfully, because I am a Detroit fan, I think our teams are just most of them are so grandfathered in that they're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine the pain that would be, especially for someone like myself, where like sports is like, it's like my main interest. So to lose a team to a different city, and not even a city in the same state. With the Warriors, it's one thing. You can still go to Warriors games.
Yeah, it's just right across the bay.
Drive.
It's just right across the Golden Gate Bridge.
Exactly. But when it comes to the Raiders, who also moved around a little bit, and now the A's, you're talking, it's going to be a hike to the point where you have to consider starting to fly there instead of drive there.
Yeah.
To go to these games.
Stop. We need
I would be willing to say you have to fly there. I mean, we're talking Southern California and Nevada.
We need to stop trying to put franchises in Vegas. It doesn't really work. It doesn't.
I mean, and so the Golden Knights are a good example, but at the end of the day, the Golden Knights didn't steal a franchise away.
No.
They didn't take a franchise that already existed and just all of a sudden they're the Las Vegas whatevers.
Like the Golden Knights don't.
The Knights have a little bit of a fan base because they're successful and because they're new.
Yeah, but like even then, I mean, they have a small fan base,
It's relatively small because the Vegas locals,
don't care.
in terms of the people of Las Vegas, you're talking about like a very small so obviously Las Vegas is just packed.
Yes.
There's so many people. So many tourists though. Vegas locals are a very much smaller demographic where you're not going to find that many diehard sports fans that are going to go to games. And you're going to wind up with what the Raiders have or what the LA Chargers have, where, for one, the Chargers aren't even the biggest football team in their town. And two, it's just.
Yeah.
You're going to a tourist city to say, hey, we're putting this team there, fill the seats. What? No.
Yeah. The Chargers and Rams can't sell out. LA, like
even the Rams, who have more history than the Chargers do, they can't sell out.
Yeah.
Rams home games are Rams road games.
Yeah. Like
with the right fan base in town.
LA is basically just a basketball town, and Vegas,
it's a hockey town, I guess.
Kind
it's
of.
not a hockey. I mean, if it's a sports town of any kind, it's a hockey town.
Yeah, closer to a hockey town. Moving on, though, we've been on this one for a minute. You had a good pick.
There's so much to say about that. It's just a really messed up scenario. I really feel for Oakland fans, but good job on them for showing out.
Yeah, my champ of the week is Damar Hamlin. He, for all intents and purposes, completed his comeback from dying.
Yes.
On Monday night, got his first career interception against the Jags, and good on him. Like, you could tell when that happened, and it was the Bengals game was the second half, I believe, even. So it was into the game. You could just tell from everything that was a big moment, not just for him, but for that entire team and that fan base. So good on Damar Hamlin. He's my champ of the week.
Yeah, no doubt on that. I mean, you said it because, I mean, the guy died on a football field.
Yep.
And not only to come back from that, but when we're talking about comeback player of the year last year, for him coming back onto the field at any point from that, people are like, oh my God, he doesn't deserve it. Well, he's going to start this year. Oh, wow. How bad is the Bills secondary that Damar Hamlin has to start?
He's making plays.
And he's making plays. And I'm really glad this happened in week 3.
Yeah.
Because now he's got a chance to go out there and, like, he got that one out of the way.
Yeah.
And now, so he's the starter back there. How good of a season can Damar Hamlin have? How many more of those picks is he going to get? It's a great story, and I don't get why people shit on it.
Because
it's the same deal with that, like Alex Smith.
Yeah.
Injured on a football field. He didn't almost die on a football field, but the injury and the surgeries thereafter just about caused that. And we celebrated Alex Smith for simply coming back and playing. And he didn't play great.
Yeah.
But of course not. The guy was at the tail end of his career anyway, and he survived fucking death.
Yeah. I think to answer that, like, Damar Hamlin at the time of the injury that caused his heart to stop and caused him to die on a football field for a handful of minutes. He was a backup playing because of an injury to the Bills. Everyone thought he was just bad. And then last year he didn't see a lot of playing time, and for whatever reason, people have this skewed mindset of what comeback player of the year is. And like I said it earlier when you made the comment about Sam Darnold comeback player of the year, I don't know if anyone caught it. You can't come back from being bad.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, you can, but
that's not the point of the award.
Well, so if you listen to the people who were apparently comeback player of the year award experts, Damar Hamlin didn't deserve it a year ago.
Yeah.
He just flat out didn't deserve it because he only played a handful of snaps. The dude's alive.
Yeah, and I can't even remember who they wanted it to go to last year. But it was someone who had a handful of really bad years.
I've already forgot.
Yeah, because it was that fucking stupid.
I have to know now.
I would say, yeah, go ahead, pull that up. I will get my chump of the week ready. I'll start with that. My chump of the week.
It went to Joe Flacco. Who, granted, had a great comeback story, if you will, from being
Bad.
in the very edge of the elite conversation. Is Joe Flacco elite? Bring that back. To being a backup for years and then leading the Cleveland Browns to an improbable run.
Yeah, and getting cut again. He was just bad. Got cut by the fucking Jets.
Got cut by the Jets and then had a great run with the Browns, and the Browns didn't even bring him back.
Yeah, that was stupid by the Browns.
Wow.
Like I said, I forgot.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was Joe Flacco. There are really people out there who say that comeback player of the year needs to be solely a statistic-based award, even though in the definition of the award and in the criteria of the voting, there is no such definition.
No.
Well, DeMar Hamlin barely played. He fucking played. He's not dead.
After dying. Yeah, I don't understand why there was so much hate on DeMar Hamlin for that, and still is. Good on him.
Think about what sort of essential sentence that we just said. He's not dead after dying.
Yeah. After being declared medically dead. Brought back to life.
I'll never get the hate. I don't
get it.
I've never I never will.
No, because it's just illogical.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Chump of the Week. You want to go first? Or you want me to?
When it comes to my Chump of the Week, it is a lot more lighthearted. And that is, I mentioned it earlier, and there's only one place left for it to go. There was a and I wish I would have put the item in question on the screen. Although good chances that anyone listening or anyone still watching have seen it. There was an item that was put out by Fanatics specifically. And all of their subsidiaries. It was an Oakland A's hat. Oakland getting a mention in both Champ and Chump of the Week. Where it was just a various conglomeration of Oakland Athletics logos. Can you give me a brief description of what the Oakland Athletics logo is? And not the circle one, the one they have on their caps.
So the logo, not what was on the hat.
Not what was on the hat,
In
but
question.
what's on hats they wear on the field.
Okay, it's a script A with an apostrophe and then an S. For A's.
Yeah. They're the Oakland Athletics, they're the Oakland A's.
I love this.
Oh my god.
The fact that this happened.
So
The fact that the design got
props. The people are saying, how did this get through quality control? I'm giving major props to who put this through quality control.
I am too. I think it's...
And whoever approved this design. And also, a brief sidebar back to the A's. There was a full-time Oakland A's employee today that leaked his employee discount ticket code ahead of the final game in Oakland to pack the stadium. I don't know if that had any impact. Probably not. But shout out to him.
Yeah, bravo to that man.
So we head back to the Oakland Athletics logo that is a script A with an apostrophe S.
Yep.
That had multiple different iterations and stitching all over the hat.
It was a design.
To the point that right here, with the way the hat was made, it just said ass. Just said ass.
Yeah, somehow all of the A's got hidden behind the main green A, and you just could see A, apostrophe S, and then a second S. It just said ass.
And we bring in. Now, I don't know if you interacted with this guy a lot in high school, and there is 0% chance he's ever watched this podcast. Rob Rigg.
I know who you're talking about.
I have no idea what Rob's doing in life now. A legend of Alpena High School when I was there. He once said, and it's one of my favorite quotes that I have still kept with me to this day. You've got to be a butthead. Wear an ass hat. Now, granted, I wanted to be a butthead, and this is where we get into the chump of the week part. I was genuinely going to buy the ass hat.
I was thinking about it. I
want one so bad, which is really unfortunate because they're gonna go for crazy money on eBay and things like that. I want one so terribly bad. But we're Fanatics, and any merchandise seller that sold them pulled them.
Yep.
You cannot find them anymore. Somebody hit the sold out button, and they are gone. Because for a brief moment they showed sold out, but it kind of like before it really got widespread.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they were just gone. I really hope that somebody reverses course because of the crazy amount of money that they could make, because I was willing to dump $50 on a hat for a team that I don't support. Simply because it's one of the craziest missteps in design, but it's funny. When the Padres had their spring training hat that accidentally looked like a swastika, that was bad.
That was bad.
But this hat just said ass. It didn't harm anybody, and I wanted it. So they're my chump of the week.
My chump of the week's a bit more serious, but not nearly as funny.
Yeah.
And my chump of the week is, for the most part, a conglomerate of the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, wow.
Not because they were bad.
They were bad.
It's really just two particular players on the Saints that just took things way too fucking far in this loss. And Christian Boyd, and then defensive tackle Christian Boyd, and then offensive lineman Trevor Penning, who...
I'm not familiar with either of those players.
Well, you might not have heard the names, but you've heard results of things that they did. We'll go with Christian Boyd first, and he got fined today by the NFL for a hit on Devontae Smith, and then while Devontae Smith was most likely unconscious, unmoving on the field after a shot to the head, Christian Boyd spit on him.
I don't get why this isn't a suspension.
Yeah, the league can be chump of the week here for this too. For this needs to be a suspension.
We just suspended Derwin James for doing half of what just happened.
Yeah.
And you can say, oh, repeat offender, whatever. that's repeat offense in the same instance.
Yeah. And what's
It's both the initial hit, which is bad. Now, haven't seen it, but if it's gonna knock somebody out, it's not good.
I've seen the play. Christian Boyd, again, defensive tackle, hit Devontae Smith upper head, shoulder up to upper head area, shoulder pad to the upper head area.
But you just have to know you can't do.
Yeah. The hit knocked Smith's helmet off. The NFL only fined him $4,600. $4,600. And then, yeah, you then on top of that spit on the dude.
I just saw it.
It's
Oh
yeah,
no.
yeah. And again, you spit on a dude. You spit on him after.
No.
You got Dennis Allen defending it. Oh, our guys just play really hard and they play until the down's over.
Good for them.
Then you're gonna defend him for spitting on the player too, and then there's Christian Boyd, and again, the fine was only $4,600,
which for an NFL player is the change in the side of my door.
Yeah,
my car door.
Yeah, and then let's move on to the other guy. Trevor Penning, offensive lineman. You have about 5 minutes left in the game. Penning is blocking Darius Slay, cornerback. Penning blocked him so far out of bounds, kept blocking him until Slay ran into a TV camera, hurt his knee, missed the rest of the game. That was a that was flagged. It's just like, what are you doing? And you got Dennis Allen here defending this shit. It wasn't that long ago that the Saints got in trouble for dirty shit like this with Bounty Gate. And here we are again, where you got Saints players making illegal hits on other players and spitting on them or blocking guys into fucking camera gantries. Like, what are we doing, Saints? What are we doing, Dennis Allen? The New Orleans Saints are my chump of the week. Just for that. Like,
oddly enough, I cannot find. So I found one video of that instance on YouTube, but it's like a freeze frame. It's like somebody taking a video of their TV.
That sounds about right.
So I can't really find it, but from the sounds of it, and then also from the comments on the only video I could find on it on YouTube, they immediately went after Slay's replacement.
Yes.
They immediately targeted Keely Ringo after that play, which is it's just dirty. It's just dicey.
The Saints got in trouble for this 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
14 years, not recent, but within the past.
Recent enough.
Like, we're back to this, and then has your team gotten in trouble for intentionally trying to injure players? Nope. The organization as its whole, and not just Vontaze Burfict? Nope. Just Vontaze Burfict. Wow. Crazy. Yeah. Despite what Vikings fans say, Kirby Joseph is not trying to intentionally injure players. No. Like, so we went through this. The Saints went through this. They're my chump of the week. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we fucking doing?
I really that
we
hit by the
doing?
defensive tackle, whose name I already forgot, is especially bad because he's already wrapped up by two guys and just comes in with his head.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And then again, you followed up by spitting on him.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit.
Like, what are we fucking doing? They're my chump of the week. It's time to go to sleep.
Yes, it is. No secondary stream for me, given that it is after midnight.
Same. Ass. Until next week. Peace. Bye.
Bye.